testify.
Yeah.
You should be able to come and testify. Come and speak to why you think this is grounds for her removal. You know, because if you know, here even in Clock TV, when we are dealing with our issues, and then maybe our boss comes and says, Mimi, there is an account that you've been stealing money. And the person, it's just an example.
So you didn't get any example.
Okay, there's an account that you've been
running away.
Pardon?
Running away.
Running away. Okay, you want to say that way. And now we are sitting together having a meeting, and whoever claims you are running away should be able to provide evidence. Should be able to come and speak that, okay, I saw Miriam at 12:15 a.m. or p.m. on this particular day. But if the person does not come and testify, then does that not infringe on their rights? Because it seems as though you are taking what the person said without actually going through the due process for the person. And this is not in defense or speaking against anybody, but this is what this press briefing will do. It will cause us to question some of the decisions taken, you know.
And you know, this is the first time in history, the Fourth Republic, that Chief Justice is being removed.
Yeah.
And then this is not actually the first time Article 146 is being invoked. But then this time around on the Chief Justice. So it is very imperative, like you stated, that we get to understand the whole process, get to know the actual thing the petition is all about, that she did this, and that. Like I rightly said from the beginning, right now, we can't just make submissions or conclusion on what he has come to say, because we don't know what actually entails the petition.
Yeah.
She claims that is what the president gave her, but we don't know her response. So right now, if it is that she is trying to play like on the safer side by coming out to
like
say,
she's a victim.
Exactly. So until we hear from the office of the president, we can't actually make...
Ira, on educational purposes, let me just read this. So you spoke about why petitioners are not being invited over, and there is anonymity of petitioners in certain legal contexts for several reasons. One of them is that safety concerns. Petitioners may fear retaliation or harassment from, let's say, political...
But as a petitioner, your name is already out there. We've heard of... If I heard some Adogo, if we can get some of the names of
your
the
name is out there, Yaira Awuno Williams, but nobody has seen you before. You are a public, you're a TV personality, but assuming you are not known in public, like that kind of thing, nobody is going to find you. What if that is not even his name?
But here is the case: the proceedings are also being held in camera at there's a lodge close to the Osu Castle or something. Now, this is something being done privately. Why can't the petitioner appear there and then they do the proceedings? Typing your name in whatever search engine to find you. It
reduces the fear in whoever would want to also, send a petition, maybe.
But then, if that's the case, then the petition should be sent anonymously without any names or anything. But we have a few names where right now, if you enter Google or you enter ChatGPT, Facebook, YouTube, all of that, to type the name, there are going to be a few people that will appear. And it just takes a little more research to be sure who it is. Right?
Talking about human rights, right now, the Chief Justice is also out there. She's been... she used the word I want to recall. Now that she has been receiving threats and all that, right now we all know that she has embezzled, according to she was given some amount to go on vacation and all that. And so it's kind of talking about human rights, we have to consider her as well. So if you fear that, like, if a petitioner, if you come out to testify, you will be, out there for, threat or something, then we should consider the Chief Justice as well.
We understand, Peter, but assuming the president was in this case, you knew that you were going to be a public officer, and anything I do, let's say embezzlement, people will come at you, right? You are a public officer, so it is for accountability.
So come and testify.
It is for accountability purposes we do these things. So we are just calling you to order.
So you, the petitioner, you too come and be held accountable for what you said. If what you said is false accusation, if it is true, let us see the evidence.
So
come and testify.
That from the Chief Justice's response.
She mentioned also that the petitions that were presented to the committee and all that. She was denied access to those petitions on the claims that she had received petitions from the president. And now there is also talk about the fact that maybe what she's received and what the committee has received are two different things. And it begs the question, why is she being denied? Because she even mentioned in the speech that you are supposed to know what allegations are being leveled against you. And yet, this is what she's facing. We don't know. I don't want to say all of this is being taken with a grain of salt because, like in motivational quotes, there are different perspectives to it. But this is what we are dissecting today. And it's like, now as laymen or as Ghanaian citizens, ordinary citizens, we are going to start questioning all these things. Because even you, if your boss is angry with you for no reason, you want to know, somehow you want to find out, why is my boss angry with me? What did I do? What do I need to do to correct that? You know, not just, you know, just being sidelined at your job and then just like that
we are just hoping that more clarity will be brought to
right. Okay, so what else is trending?
Yeah, Peter, I'll come to you.
Okay.
So we have this from the Minister of Education, and he's saying government is yet to recruit 50,000 teachers and 10,000 non-teaching staff in 2025. And that is by Haruna Idrisu, the Minister of Education. Just 2 days or 3 days ago, we saw a few newly posted teachers, 2022 batch of teachers demonstrating at the Ministry of Education. And seeing this, I'm trying to like connect the dots, because what are the measures put in place for these 50,000 teachers that are going to be, you know, recruited? The 10,000 non-teaching staff, are they just going to be posted with no motivation, no allowances, nothing, like that kind of thing? So when I saw it, I was like, we need to talk about it.
Yes, because those demonstrating were not paid. Now you're going to recruit how many more?
50,000 teachers and 10,000.
So basically 60,000. Have their remunerations and things like that been considered in the budget? Have there been any allocations? And if they have been, why haven't the ones who are already posted been paid?
So I'm sure maybe they've actually learned, for the lack of a better word, they'll say lesson from what just transpired. And I'm sure the implementation is not going to be now. There's time, so I'm sure
2025.
You said
2025.
We are in
June has already June. It's almost ending.
So I'm sure they are putting measures in place to accommodate or
right.
Yes.
I have a lot of teachers, so hurry up.
Yes.
So Peter, what is trending on your end?
Okay, like Mimi said, a lot, but then because of time, you will limit it. So Parliament has approved the public holiday and commemorative day amendment bill 2025. So there's been some new changes.
Okay.
Yeah, so the legislation restores July 1 as Republic Day. And then we also have a newly introduced public holiday known as Shag Day.
Hey.
It will be observed a day after Eid al-Fitr.
Okay.
Yes. Shag. S-H-A-G.
Okay.
Shag. I don't know. So Shag Day. Yes.
But Eid al-Fitr is passed, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so
Next
year. Right
so then
after
it has to
Eid
be
al-Fitr.
2 holidays to carry forward.
And then also one that I'm excited about is that the bill repeals August 4 as Founders Day.
Okay.
Yes. And then the bill also empowers the president to shift public holidays that fall on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays to either Friday or Monday.
Yeah, I think that's termed as a bank holiday also. I think the UK does that.
Does that apply to 1st July?
So
which
if
is
it
falling on Tuesday,
then it means that it will be shifted to either Monday or Friday.
So is it a Monday
Friday,
before or
Friday.
After?
Preceding. So.
Preceding,
Yeah.
okay.
Once it's on Friday. But speaking on July, we have to talk about Koko Digest at 1, which is in the pipeline.
Right.
You know, God has been so good to us.
It's almost a year, a
Yeah.
few weeks more. No, I think a week. Or
A week
more,
more.
And this show will be 1 year.
I remember your cheeks.
The
I remember when you started. Your
when
cheeks were
I
not there.
started, when we started, The journey has not been easy, but God has been faithful. Grace has abounded, and of course, we have grown. I'm sure when we look at our videos from the beginning to now, and we're most grateful to our leadership. We're most grateful to the teams and everybody that has supported us along the way to bring us this far. And of course, I cannot say we are most grateful to everybody and forget the viewers. We are most grateful for your support and every encouragement, every bit of encouragement you've given to some of us personally. You know, the compliments, the comments, the criticisms. Yes, constructive. Some not so constructive, but yes, each is well appreciated. We're most grateful, and I'm sure you're looking forward to next week, what we have in store for you.
We should
It will be quite a show.
Anticipate.
Yeah. Now we have a comment here. So this one, it says, good morning, I'm Eben from Kwabinya. I feel really sad for suspended CJ Tokonopa for not getting good advice from her lawyers. They are really doing her bad, but I think she needs to reconsider what she did yesterday because she has done more harm than good herself. Those who advise her for the press conference have to bow in shame. Madam CJ, I know you can do better because the law is the law. Regards to Hajia Hawa of GRA, Honorable MCA of Gan East, and Mr. Kwesi Mensah of PSC Shipyard. So yes, I'm sure more comments like this have already, they started flooding in on social media, and people are going to be feeling various sentiments towards her. And then honestly, we'll just say she should remain strong and do what she thinks is best. Of course, in our motivational quote today, it was about perspective. So like this man is saying that her lawyers are doing her bad. Maybe various opinions and things should inform decisions. And it should not be only her, but the other parties involved as well. And then for us, the citizens, the opinions we are also sharing, let us not be one-sided. Let us also look at the multi-dimensions or facets of the issue and speak to them and not be politically or emotionally motivated. Right. So do you have newspapers?
Yes.
I think Peter should start because mine is entertainment.
Yes, so I have with me Daily Graphic, and on the front page, controversial SML contract, OSP picks up 8. 5 former GRA gurus included. And then we have Kwau chieftaincy crisis. Eastern Regional House of Chiefs restrains Balfour Akoto Osei and 6 others. And then we have what we just spoke about.
Yeah.
Resignation not an option. Suspended Chief Justice. President followed constitution, not political agenda. Spokesperson Felix Ofosu-Kwakye.
Yes, we did not touch on that. That he almost immediately also came to give a response. And yes, I think in summary, he says the same thing, that the president followed due process, constitutional processes, and I think he spoke to a few things she also mentioned.
These things, we've said it over and over. When this case started, all of us, attested to the fact that we were following constitutional processes. And so I don't know why she's out again, trying to play the victim, but it is what it is.
Let us be measured.
I have a little, so I think we will touch on it, one of our online stories. So I have a little problem there, so I think we'll go into that.
Then let's go into it quickly, then we move forward.
So, when it's time for Parliament has approved the 7 years.
The 7. So, that's the story I have here.
Okay, so let's move straight into graphic showbiz today. And on the front page, we are seeing beautiful Kasum Sunari, and it says, "Congrats, Kasum Sunari." We also have, so briefly, she has been appointed as Ghana's ambassador to the Kingdom of Spain by President John Dramani Mahama, and she is 58 years old and holds a master's degree in international relations and diplomacy from the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration. Her appointment includes, she's going to basically represent Ghana's interests across the various countries that they are being appointed as ambassadors. And the reason why I read this was mainly because a lot of people don't understand why she got this appointment. Looking at her political affiliation, well, not her, but her partner's political affiliation, which has to do with NPP. And, you know, she being appointed, a lot of people are asking questions about her being, what has she contributed to the
maybe
party?
Maybe the fact that she was also even an actress, she was in the entertainment industry.
What does she know? That kind of thing. She has a master's degree, please.
Yeah, so she has the right qualifications.
Thank you very much. And we also have piracies struggling as Shirley Frimpong Manso. And Shirley is also saying that the act of stealing or using unauthorized movie productions or music productions from people is what is killing the industry. We also have Keke Fosu saying that I am Prince, not King of High Life. Hey, sorry. We are sorry, sir. So yes, that is what we have. With showbiz.
With piracy, a lot of new TV stations have come up, and sometimes a new movie will be premiered, and you tune into one of these TV stations and they are showing.
And just recently, Straw was released.
Yes, and all of a sudden, some of these TV stations
hours later,
and it's
crazy.
Like she's saying, it's strangling them because they put in a lot of work, you know, blood, sweat, and tears, investments. And just for it to be something that people can watch for free when they are looking to rack in some ROIs or some profits, then Ghanaians and Nigerians.
That's why I'm so happy. I'm so happy for Clock TV. We don't do that here. We don't. Not at all. We always go through the due process. And
get the right license,
Yes.
But with the film producers, what measures have they put in place to, you know?
That's the question.
But you see, something like that movie, the Love in a Few Words or Love in One Word or something. Yeah. So some of these movie productions or producers have adopted YouTube. Now, YouTube can be monetized, right? But some people can simply just screen record or download the video and use it. Now, how do you control something like that? Because even if you remove the download option from there, somebody can decide to record a screen record.
And they have the time.
Yes, they have time.
For me, for instance, I watched Straw on TikTok. I didn't go to Net. I watched everything on TikTok. So part 1, part 2, part 3. I was just watching. So
you can see that there isn't a lot that can be done. Okay. I mean, I'm sure there can be something done, especially when it comes to the technical aspects, because there have been certain explicit photos and videos of certain high-ranking officials that have come up. But with time, they've been taken off the internet, taken off. You cannot have those things on your phone. I think if you do, something will happen to the phone or something will happen to the file. So things like that can happen, but I'm sure that also requires a lot of money and investment to be able to do that. And the criminals here, no criminals, but the people who don't want to adhere to the rules and regulations here in Ghana like this. Imagine the new TV stations we have. We have about 50, and now maybe 25 are already pirating movies. How much investment are you going to make for all these people to be able to follow these rules? So it's a lot. All right. Now, the story of Kalsum Sinari, I think these days she's been in a lot of not political, more like social issues, because I remember seeing her at one of the agribusiness summits and there to show support. So I think her becoming an ambassador, it's a step in the right direction. And then you mentioned that people were questioning it. And I remember from school that ambassadorship is either by appointment or I think you'll be voted into, or you have the academic qualifications for it. So since she's been appointed, I mean, it's the president's prerogative, isn't it?
Exactly. You know, Ghanaians, they'll question everything. Oh, yes. So it's normal.
It shouldn't be even politicized.
No, it shouldn't.
We politicize everything in this country.
No.
And I'm just hoping that people don't come and bring up her old movies trying to show where she starts from.
Well, I think she has a clean sheet. We haven't really heard anything negative.
No scandals.
Yeah, so she's okay.
So now let's go into the online stories quickly. So the first story here is what Peter was talking about. Parliament approves 7 Supreme Court judges despite minority protest. Now, Parliament has approved the appointment of 7 new Supreme Court justices, all 7 Court of Appeal judges, based on recommendations from the Appointments Committee. While the committee commended the nominees for their competence and professionalism, the minority opposed the decision. raising concerns about its timing amid the Chief Justice's suspension. They argue that appointing 7 justices at this point could signal executive interference and threaten the judiciary's independence. Ghana is a gift that keeps giving.
I like the way the minority is always, quick to attack, like the kind of we are finding ways and
Minority is
means.
talking about executive interference. Were we not here? Well, Peter,
Well, for me, let me just speak on the issue of timing. For me, I think is the right time for the appointment, because considering the number of unresolved cases we have in our courts today, we need a lot of judges to help us do that. And we all know the crucial role judges play in Ghana. They uphold the rule of law, they protect constitutional rights, and ensure justice is fairly administered. And so the appointment is right, and we know, I don't know, from research, I can tell that Ghana is lacking a lot of judges. I did a little research, and as of end 2022, Ghana had approximately 1 judge to 80,000 people. Well, which is below UN recommended ratio of 1 judge per 20,000 people. And so you can imagine, we are lacking over there. And so this appointment, well, for me, is a step in the right direction. We know how some cases take a long while before they are being, solved. Civil cases take up to 3 to 5 years. Some can even drag for a decade. Like, it is never ending. And if you don't have judges to preside over these cases, it's going to be an issue. So for me, the timing is okay. I don't know why the minority is coming out to say that it is going to lead to executive
interference.
Yes. I'll come back. I'll come back to
the leaders of that a few months ago. Right, Peter, you said you had some qualms about this.
Yes, so for me, I disagree with you. And I also feel that the timing it's not good with regards to now that the Chief Justice is on suspension. The Constitution, Article 144, Clause 2, states that the president is mandated to appoint justices to the Supreme Court based on the advice of the Judicial Council and in consultation with the how do you call it?
Appointments committee or
House,
a few other
yes. And so for the president to actually appoint justices with the Chief Justice on suspension. So now let me put it this way. Assuming you are the supervisor or the principal for, let's say, Williams College of Education, and then Mimi too is a senior lecturer at this, College of, Education, and then you have been the principal for like 6 years and still counting, and then there's been this privilege to promote staff from your school, and then it happens that you are supposed to step down for investigations, and they bring in Mimi to be the acting principal, who I'm supposed to, take advice from to promote some of the staff. It is going to be an issue. Yeah. But then the Constitution did not explicitly state that the Chief Justice, acting Chief Justice, does not have, the power to advise the president based on that, appointment. Okay. But then with the scenario I gave, you could see that there will be some form of, misunderstanding somewhere. And the fact that where the Chief Justice comes in is, the Chief Justice is the chair of the Judicial Council, she chairs it. And then the reason why she comes in is that she ensures that appointments are merit-based and to ensure independence, as what the minority is saying, that there will be some form of, executive interference. Now, when you take a look at how this whole process unfolds, on March 25, President Mahamudu Felix Ofosu-Kwakye announced that 3 petitions have been, submitted in regards to the removal of, the Chief Justice in line with Article 146, Clause 6. Now, fast forward, on April 7, the Chief Justice, Tokuno, formally submitted her response which was something she was supposed to do. She was given a deadline. With this petition and her response, like I said earlier, we don't have the specifics. We don't know what it entails as to whether the petitions that came says that Chief Justice has done this and that. Her report or her reply to the president too, we don't know. And then after some investigations, on the 22nd of April, the Chief Justice was suspended in line with Article 146, same Article 146. On 23rd, that is the next day, President appointed an acting Chief Justice, Justice Paul Bafuboni. So, and then on 29th of April, 7 justices were nominated. So you see where my problem is. So I feel that Article 144, Clause 2, was not fully fulfilled.
Which says what? Which
says that the president has the power to appoint justices. In, like, considering an advice from the Council of the Judicial Council, which is chaired by the Chief Justice, in consultation with, and then approval from Parliament.
Yes, but I think before then, the acting Chief Justice had been appointed, right?
Exactly.
So I think it was in consultation with him, and then the Judicial Council that led to the appointment of the new justices.
So another school of thought will argue that that's the acting Chief Justice, which I said that it is not stated clearly in the Constitution, that he has the power as the substantive Chief Justice to be able to advise the president on who to appoint and who not to appoint.
You've even asked the question I was also going to ask, that does the suspension nullify the role the current Chief Justice has? Because I think she even mentioned in her speech that some of the recommendations she made were based also on merit and all of that. She did make some recommendations for the president's, appointment. So right now...
When the president of Ghana travels out of the country, who steps in? Vice president, right? And the vice president assumes the power or authority. Every authority of the president is assumed or given to him to handle, right? It's the same thing. You're on suspension. Your girls prefect is on suspension. Assistant girls prefect takes over, or someone takes over. You are acting. So whatever power the suspended Chief Justice would have, exhibited, you have the power to also exhibit same. And the question that has to do with, is it wrong to appoint justices when Chief Justice is suspended? For me, no, it is not wrong. We have to follow constitutional proceedings. So are you saying because of her suspensions, judicial processes or proceedings shouldn't continue?
No. So the fact is that they should have waited for the discussions about the suspension and everything to end.
When we have cases to deal with,
the timing.
But
we don't have time.
Is it that the appointments came before the petitions against the Chief Justice were submitted?
No.
Because if that was the case, where maybe she has already, they've consulted with her, they've done all the recommendations and things, they have a list of people they want to. If that was already done before her suspension came, it makes sense. But if it was done during her being, that is where maybe people might
have issues.
So you cited an example like the senior boys prefect and the assistant. They are all doing the same work, just that he or she is the senior and then that one. So if the senior is not there, definitely the junior takes over because he or she is into the work already. But this one, it's a different case.
It's a different case.
And so in order to not, take away the confidence the citizens have in the judiciary. Also talking about the Supreme Court being packed, we spoke about capping and uncapping of the, Supreme Court judges. So the fact is that, appointing 7 justices currently, I feel the number is too much. Currently, if they go through, if they are being sworn in, we will have about 20 justices, including the Chief Justice. Now, when you take a country like the US, they have fixed number 9. Look at their population and the number of states they have. So I think it's high time we follow other countries that practice democracy. We publish, we get annual reports on the cases that we have, judiciary, the cases, and all that to merit the number of appointments to be given.
Exactly.
Even when you go to Kenya, that's what they do. Tunisia, the same thing.
I think more of this will be brought to our viewers subsequently.
All right. Well, all too soon, our time is up. We had one more story, but seems the appointments have taken over. Yeah,
so we don't even have time for the second story.
No, we don't. It's about the drug trafficking. Yes, 14 people arrested. Okay, so I think we've been given some 2 minutes, so please let's be. So this one says 14 arrested in Eastern region for alleged drug trafficking, and 14 individuals are in the custody of the Ghana Police Service for their suspected involvement in the possession, trade, and distribution of illegal drugs in the Birim Central and Asene Manso Akroso districts of the Eastern region. Now, the suspects were apprehended during a well-coordinated operation by the Narcotics Control Commission, NACOC, in Akim Oda and Akroso. The swoop followed several weeks of intelligence gathering and surveillance aimed at identifying and dismantling the drug trafficking networks operating within these communities.
Yeah, it's very disturbing when I hear stories like this, especially in rural areas where people don't really have the necessary education and exposure to dangers and other things. And so this is very alarming. But briefly, I want to talk about NACOC. We haven't heard of them yes. So I just want to educate our viewers. NACOC is a state agency under the Ministry of Interior, and they are responsible.
Are they different from Narcotics Control Board, or that's what's been elevated to a commission?
Yes, please.
Okay.
So they are responsible for coordinating Ghana's fight against illegal drugs, drug trafficking and those kind of things. And it is a highly intelligent service or job, and so you don't really see them as we see the other services like the police and other things.
Yeah, they have to be quite discreet, else everybody will start running.
So yes, for me, my concern will still go back to the root cause: unemployment, poverty.
Yes,
these are things
I'm glad I wasn't the one that said it this time.
These are things that are pushing our young people into drug abuse and other things. So government needs to look into that for us, because
but another dimension to what you're saying is that there are people who are wealthy enough to invest in these things. These people that are being apprehended are basically close to the end user. They are the retail services, because for large amounts of these drugs to enter into the system or into the country or into that community, it is not a hungry young man who invested in that. It is somebody else, just like we see in the movies, crime syndicates that are investing in these things. So yes, like you're saying, if unemployment and education and things like that are checked, and people are getting jobs and things, now those people will not have people to employ to be doing this. They will get arrested and put in prison, while they just find newer employees and they continue their drug syndicate money and things like that.
That will even lead to corruption, because corruption is one of the causes of these things. At the port, corruption. Everywhere, corruption. So you see, they can be doing their job. They will say they are doing their job, but they are corrupt.
So I think that to add up to this, whenever these corporates or these people are apprehended, they should give them some kind of counseling, because it's not easy. Once you are addicted to it, you can putting you into prison, or it wouldn't change you. You go back and come.
Someone can cry, someone can repent immediately. Like when the person is apprehended, counsel the person will cry. The next moment,
they are back
to it.
If I leave you both, you continue this issue and prolong the segment. Yes, this brings us to the end of the online print review. Thank you so much for joining us. Next is a lifestyle segment, and like I said, it's about music production, and the guest is somebody that we all love here at Club TV. So come on. So please do well to tune in, call a friend, text a friend, and join in the conversation here. And we will be right back.
This is how we do. M-I-M-I, Divalish, aka, you know the name?
Ghana music.
Where neutrality in the civil service is paramount, Ghana finds itself at a crossroad.
Clause Act says that a certain action should be taken, but government has to act on the basis of law. So we inquired as to what the premise for that demand is.
They say if you wish to broadcast or otherwise manifest your political allegiance or run political office, step away from the services. This is Supreme Court talking. It's not Closer speaking or Isaac Wampado speaking. This is the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court judgment on the landmark case of Clocksag versus the Attorney General has set the stage for a profound transformation. Introducing Resetting the Civil Service. Tune in to be part of this change, because a better civil service means a better Ghana.
I find it refreshing always when I remind myself of the profound statement by the eminent civil servant, the Tan Anankwa of blessed memory, to the effect that it is the perfection of the civil servant that will move this country forward, and not the politician.
discussions on labor policies, workers' rights, and current labor trends. In responding to these pressing needs, Clock TV introduces Walatu Walasa, a dynamic and engaging program dedicated exclusively to exploring the multifold realms of labor issues. This innovative program aims to provide a robust platform for in-depth discussions surrounding employment relations, the rights of workers,
Artist of the Year for the just ended Telecel Ghana Music Awards 2025 Kim Promise with Favorite Story featuring Sarkodie and the other artist. I don't know his name. But yes, that was a favorite story for us. And today on the lifestyle segment, it is also a favorite story for me as I get to sit with, a renowned videographer, graphic editor, movie director, an amazing personality when it comes to the movie industry. I'm going to introduce him shortly. But let me remind you that this is still the Koko Digest Morning Show here on Clock TV. We are streaming live on Facebook. Facebook and also YouTube as well. And our WhatsApp number will be displayed on the screen intermittently, and so you can share your thoughts with us. It is just vibes, you know, entertainment, anything that has to do with the movie industry. We are here to understand what goes behind the scenes. I mean, you just saw Favorite Story by Kim Promise. Very captivating, very amazing on your screen. But most of us don't really know what goes into the production of, you know, these music videos and movie productions. That is what we are going to be doing on the lifestyle segment today. And just as I said, I have, you know, a celeb. I have a celeb with me in the studio. Our very own Jiwo Chinwe. He's worked with a lot of very known celebrities: Emilia Brobe, Nana Mama Brown, Mama Sewa, Lil Wayne, Christina Awuni. Just mention them. He's worked with, you know, all of them. And he has produced movies like Ensei Midin, Ohia Mama Mobo, and this recent one. I think he will tell us himself. But yes, I have Jiwo Chinwe with me in the studio, and let's get straight into that. Hi, Jiwo.
Hi.
Let me greet you, celeb.
Serious profile there.
I have to hype you. You are very own. Thank you so much for gracing our show this morning. We are going to be looking at behind the lens, the creation of music videos. And we just saw Favorite Story by Kim Promise. I know you've produced a lot of, you know, music videos and movie videos, movies. We are going to look at that. But tell me what you liked about Favorite Story, the production and everything.
Well, one thing that captured me is their line of costume.
Okay.
Yeah, and the concept behind the whole video. Yeah, actually, when you listen to the song and the concept behind it, it's two different things. And that is, when the video came out initially, people were like, the storyline doesn't really fall in line with the song.
Because when I saw it at first, I thought Kim Promise was getting married or something. That was like the story behind it.
Yeah, but there is, technically, if you look at the video very well, they were trying to make a point. Okay. You know, there is this song that was already out that is from Kwabna Aso. And the song Aso itself, you know, had a different meaning.
Oh, okay.
And with this one, it tells you the storyline is something that is positive.
Okay.
Getting married and stuff. So they realized that people were complaining that it was not really in line with the song. Yeah. But if you pay critical attention, you realize that the director was trying to make a point that say in HSA to me. Yeah. So
this is just, you know, prelims. Let's take a look at a video produced and directed by Jiwo Chinwe. We'll be back. Wow. We are super grateful this morning. I don't know, this song just took me back to church. But Jiwo, what went into the production of this music video?
Oh, a lot went into it. The locations. It was quite challenging because we had to shoot some at Kaswa and also drive all the way to Ebri to take some scenes. So we spent almost about 3-4 days getting this video done. Yeah, and also have to take some to at Adenta Estate. Yeah. So a lot went into it. Yeah.
But people will be wondering what really led you into storytelling of movie productions, of music video productions. Like, what's motivated you to get into that?
Well, when I started. Actually, I was into music videos. Oh, okay. It was later
you added the movies.
The movies, yeah. Naturally, I'm an artist. Yeah, so after SHS, back home doing one of my paintings, and my late grandmom saw one of my works, and she was like, looking at how creative I am, why don't I involve myself into the media? So my late mom was by then already in the industry, so through her links and influence that got me.
Yeah. You mentioned that you are an artist. Is it artist like
drawing?
Yeah, okay. Because I wanted to take an a cappella from you.
Oh, no.
Anyways, so when an artist gets to you in terms of movie or music production, what is the first thing you take them through, like in terms of the production and everything? What do you do first?
The first thing is I request for the song. If it is music video, I request for the song. Then I listen to the song over and over. Yeah, it depends on the mood I am with. Every director and how he or she goes by it. But first of all, I listen to the song over and over. Then I develop the concept. Yeah, some of them too, when they approach, maybe they have their own concept already, and they will discuss it with you. But if it fall in line, you might go by it. If it doesn't fall in line, you just discuss and agree. So after I listen to the song, I develop the concept, then I'll share it with the artist or the producer. Then we pick it from there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I know you are into directing as well. So directing also has to do with storytelling. What really goes also into that? Because I know when an artist brings a production, it is like a raw feed. You have to put things together, like from scene 1 to scene 2. How are you able to tell that there's going to be a sync between scene 1 and then scene 2? How do you go about it?
Yeah. It's basically the same thing when it comes to music video. Sometimes the producer brings the story. So when the producer brings the story, you listen to the story, you read the story, you go through the story. Sometimes the director is the one that developed the story. But we have people who specialize when it comes to script writing. So when they write the script, they present it to you, the director. You go through the story. You need to put yourself in the story, because at the early stage, when the story is with you, it's a dead story. So it's a director that puts life into the story. So you have to follow the sequence. That is from scene 1, scene 2. Sometimes when you follow the sequence per your vision, maybe you realize that after scene 1, scene 3 have to come before. So you rearrange it. So when you are done, that is where we have the script conference with the technical teams. Involves the director of photography, makeup, wardrobe. Then you explain your vision to them, what you want to achieve, because they also have to sync with what you want to do at the end of the day. So this analysis, then you all agree on one thing before you move on set.
I know you've worked with a lot of artists, right? Like a lot. How do you handle situations whereby your directing doesn't go in line with what the artist wants? Like, you want it here, the artist also wants us here. How do you, make sure that everything is coordinated?
Well, it's sometimes challenging when you're on set, especially when you are dealing with the known figures and you don't know how to handle them. And these things, when it happens that way, you, the director, have to put your feet down. There have been situations whereby we are on set shooting, whereby you realize that the artist prefers it this way.
Okay.
But in my case, what I normally do is that I try and call the artist aside, try to reason with the artist. Well, after reasoning with him or her, if I realize that what the artist is trying to say makes sense, I go by it. But if not, I try to reason with the artist for him or her to understand the reason why
What
the
if
sequence.
he or she doesn't understand you? What would you do?
Then I'll take you out.
You take the person out. You don't want the money.
Oh, it's not about the money. Sometimes in production, if you are not firm with your decisions and you are not firm, you realize that the artist will end up controlling the set. And if you don't take care, the beauty of the production will be lost. That is why sometimes you see a lot of productions out there whereby you watch the story and there is no meaning in it because it's like everybody is trying to say what he or she thinks. But you are the director. You've had a team that you've planned all those, so you know the vision. You know what you want to achieve by the end of the day because most of the artists, they talk from a layman's point of view. But you, the director, you are coming from a technical point. Because at the end of the day, you will be at the bench to do the post-production. Do you understand me? So if production is not well achieved and you go to bench, you have problem. So if you realize that the artist is giving you tough time, then which means the artist is not ready to work with you. So it's best you change the artist and redo everything again. And I've had situations whereby I have to sack an artist on the set because the artist was proving to be difficult.
Was the artist your artist or like someone who just came to you to work with? Like, I don't understand. You sacked the person.
I asked the person to go. I sacked the person on the set.
Okay, so assuming I come to you, I want you to direct and produce my music video. I'm coming with my money.
Yeah.
Yet I have my script. I want you to go by this. You are doing your job. Why should you sack me?
I'm talking in terms of the movie production, but in terms of music video, in terms of music video, you've brought your money. So far as I'm the one directing, now I'm the one in charge. Do you understand me? So far as I'm the one directing the video for you, I'm the one in charge. So whatever comes from the director is what you have to take. But that does not mean what you have to say is fine or whereby you don't have to listen to others' opinion. That is why I said in my early submission, I was like, you reason with the artist. And before we even move on set, we have what we call the pre-production, whereby we discuss everything. Sometimes if you are working with a storyboard, the storyboard will also elaborate on how the sequence are going to be, like starting from scene 1, scene 2, scene 3. So if we've gone through all this process.
Okay, so like what we are seeing on our screens, right?
Yes, yeah. So with the storyboard, it tells you the beginning act, scene 1. Then we have some storyboards who have comes with images. I don't know if the producer can display the one with the images. Yeah. So with these ones, it tells you that maybe scene 1, this is how the poster is going to look like with costumes, camera angles. So with this, it also helps the DOP to also have fair idea about what we want to achieve. So if we've gone through all this process and we are now on set filming and you are trying to do otherwise, then it's like you're not ready to,
Okay, I see. And this is with regards to movies, but with music videos, you also have a storyboard for that.
Yeah, with music videos.
So with the music video we watched, you created a storyboard for that before?
No, I did not create a storyboard for that, but I worked on a script.
A script.
Yeah, there was a storyline in it. So
what was the storyline?
Basically, the song is about someone who is struggling in life and she did not expect that things would turn around, but eventually her good deed that she did for someone, through that person, God blessed her and the story changed. Yeah.
Okay. We normally hear this story. It's very common with Ghanaian gospel musicians. Like, God has done something for me, blah, blah, blah. We are giving thanks to God and that kind of thing. Don't you think you need to change the storyline sometimes? It's just like when you watch a lot of movies, our Ghanaian movies, people tend to say that we know what will happen at the end. You don't even have to tell me, we can predict. It's like two lovers, they fall in love, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, they'll get married.
But with that particular video that I worked on, sometimes you might be doing the same concept. In terms of the entertainment industry, most of the things that we see are things that are there already. But it depends on how you, the director or the creative person, will twist the story.
Yeah.
So if you watch the full video, you realize that there was a little twist in it that made this particular story a bit different. It is not common whereby in this modern era whereby things are hard for some people. It is not common whereby you see money lying on the ground, then you just pick it and try and look for the owner and give it to the person. Do you understand? Meanwhile, that particular day, what you even eat is a problem for you.
That was captured in the video.
That
right?
was captured in the video.
Okay.
So that was a twist I added to the video that made mine a bit different to
But
the others.
realistically, people cannot relate with what you just said because how many Ghanaians will find money on the road and then take it and return it to the owner?
That's why I say if you have time to watch a full video, you realize that the owner was on his way going somewhere, very busy, on his way going, and the money, and the money fell. So she saw the owner, but the owner did not see. So if it were to be someone, the person would just take the money and go.
Joe, I'm just saying that, you see, realistically, Ghanaians cannot relate with this. If we find the money, we'll keep it. We'll not return it. So sometimes you have to also think for Ghanaians, right? Or whoever your audience are. That's what I'm just trying to say. Or you think the twist helps?
Well, I made that analysis. As I said, I normally share my ideas with my team before we move on set. From what you are saying is true, but out of 100%, at least you get 2 or 3% that will return the money to the owner.
Okay. The Iranian idea will not return it. That was just by the way. But still on the creative process, I want you to walk us through like the process. I'm an artist. I come to you. I want you to help me direct and produce my music video. What do I do? What do you also do? Like our roles. Walk us through briefly if someone is watching.
All right. So first, you let the director or the producer, whoever wants to shoot the video for you. When you engage the person, you first of all let the person listen to the song. So when you engage me, first and I'll request for the song.
Okay.
When I listen to the song, then I'll develop the concept for the song. But before then, I'll also find out from you if you have a concept in mind or what you intend to achieve with the song. So after I listen to the song, I also check if it is high life, hip hop, Afrobeat or stuff. So when I develop the concept, then the next thing is now we look at budget. Yeah, and budget also play a very key role when it comes to music video. I look at the budget, then I'll now look at the equipment. The equipment for the production. Yeah, depending on the budget we agreed on. Okay. Then we now look at the crew. The crew that's to do with the DOP, camera operator, gaffer, post-production team, the makeup, wardrobe.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I'll finalize on the storyboard if it is necessary. I'll finalize on the storyboard, share with the artists and the crew. Then we also look at the locations.
Okay.
We look at the locations where we will shoot the video. Okay. If we need to book a hotel, or we factor all those things. Then we also now finalize on the number of days. Is it going to be a day shoot? Is it going to be a 2-day shoot or 3-day shoot? We also look at that. Then we now look at the other personalities we are going to add to the video. If we need dancers, we need actors, whatever, we also finalize on that. If actors or celebrities or influencers, we look at which kind of influencers are we looking at. So we factor all this. Then we now set a day to shoot the video.
Okay.
Yeah, so after the production is being done, then we now come to post-production. That is where we go to the editing bench. Then we do the final touches there, then the video.
Okay. So how much money should I have as an upcoming artist to come and see you for a video production?
Music videos are expensive. And if you want, let me make it standard. At least we are looking at, let's say, 30,000. That is standard. Yeah.
30,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some shoot videos below that budget.
Okay.
Some shoot videos below, way below. But currently, if you want to get a standard video with all the right elements in it, at least 30,000 and above.
30,000. Yeah. Okay. I think that's reasonable. Well, let's look at the equipment. What type of equipment do you rely on with your video productions?
Well, it depends, but with video productions, normally I look at black magic cameras or the red skeleton. These are cameras that most of the time is suitable for music video production. We have other cameras like the Canon 5D, Mark 5. Then we have the Lumix GH5, GH4. These are all cameras that we can use. But I want to emphasize on this. You can use the lowest camera. Do you understand me? But depending on the person handling the camera, can use, let's say, 60D or 70D to get you a good pictures. Someone can also use red skellet.
What's the name of the equipment you are holding?
This one is red skellet. Yeah, this one I was in Big Ada working on a video for an artist.
Okay. I see. Yeah. My producer just prompted me that you have another music video. Let's take a look at that, and then I'll ask you the equipment you used in producing that. Okay. Okay, so that was Ayalolo, produced by our very own Jewel Chinwe. Ayalolo, is that not the name of
Yeah, but that's the title of the song.
Okay, what also went into that?
Basically the same procedure I explained to you.
Okay. I mean the title of the song or the artist?
Yeah, it's the title of the song that the artist gave me.
Oh, okay. So whether it makes sense or not, you just work with it, right?
Oh, well, there's in the song, there is a phrase whereby he mentioned Ayalulu, which means no matter what, things are a bit tough, but we are moving forward.
Okay.
That's the meaning of Ayalulu.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I also realized that some of the scenes had faded parts at the top, like depicting some kind of olden days view. I don't know.
Yeah, that was the concept I had in mind when I was visualizing the video. The whole idea, if you watch, there were some parts you see some sun blares at the edges. These are all filters that we use to enhance video production, depending on how you, the director, you want it.
Yeah, but the lady and the gentleman didn't really look like the years we're predicting. So let's say you are working, you want to present the picture of they being 2 or 5 years ago, but they looked fresh.
It's not. I was not trying to depict that. That was years ago. You know, with videography, that's music videos. Sometimes you can play around with the images.
Okay.
Do you understand me? But it's how you follow it. This one has a story. This particular song, there's a story in it. So the story was reflecting modern day.
Okay.
But with the video whereby you see the artist talk, you realize that the pictures were a bit different.
So just look at this. Oh, producer, can you go back a little bit so that I show? Just look at the top.
Yes.
See how
that is, it's a filter.
Oh, okay.
It's a filter that we use. It's a filter that we use. Yeah.
So just like how I'm understanding this, and I believe that's the same way someone is also going to understand it. You are saying you are predicting modern, but it looks like
that's what I'm saying with video. That's the same way like we watch. I explained to you earlier on that with the ASO, people had different meaning for it, but the director knew what he or she wants to achieve with the images.
Okay.
So the same way implies to music video.
So how would you say technology has influenced the quality of your works as videographers?
Oh, a lot. In terms of modern equipment, softwares, a lot. And it has currently, compared to first, it's a bit difficult, very difficult when you are editing videos. Yeah, even though now it's not easy when you're editing, but previously it was a bit difficult because of the kind of softwares we were.
Speaking on softwares, what softwares do you use for your editing?
Oh, it depends. Yeah, we have Final Cut, Idios, Adobe. Adobe Premiere Pro is a common one. Yeah, but with music videos, normally I rely on DaVinci. Yeah, then After Effects, because of the filters we want to apply on the videos. Yeah.
So how successful would you say the job of a videographer is? As a Ghanaian, is it paying? Are you getting some doughs?
Like, oh yeah. It's paying. Yeah.
So my lunch is on you today, right? Say it on national television, so that I have witnesses. We'll talk behind the scenes.
Okay.
So I know you've seen the works of other videographers and other things in Ghana. Which one would you say stood out for you? I mean, in terms of music videos, movie productions, which one would you say, like one video that you've seen that you can tell that this worked, it's top notch.
Okay, that is Ibrahim Oyenijan, OM Studios.
Okay.
My boss.
Okay.
He did a video that was with Asem and Richie. Yeah, I got a secret, you wanna hear it. You always on my mind. Yeah.
Producer, we have that.
That is an old video.
Oh yeah.
And up to now, that video, still the quality of the video and what went into it, even though we have modern videos that
tell us briefly what went into that music video. I know what you're talking about, but briefly, like what makes it very unique, because something that has been produced 10 or 8 years ago is still your best video. There should be something unique.
As at that time, in terms of softwares that we used to achieve certain things that it's easy for us now. We're not having those softwares, and there were certain effects in the video which he managed to achieve it manually, and it's not easy.
Okay.
But with our current softwares, everything is there, so it's easy. You just pick and apply. But he managed to go through the manual way to achieve it, and some of those effects in the video are some of the effects currently we are using. Yeah. So. I don't know if I would say he foresaw it coming here in the future. Yeah. So sometimes I watch some videos. We have good directors that are like Skyface, Rex. They are doing fantastic work. But when I watch what OM did back in the days and now, trust me.
It's crazy, right?
It's crazy, yeah.
Right. So we'll be wrapping up shortly, but if any videographer or photographer or graphic editor is watching you today as a visionary, just as you said, your boss was a visionary. He foresaw what was going to happen today. What do you also foresee? What advice do you have for videographers watching us today?
Yeah, what I would tell them is that it is not easy. Yeah, in terms of videography, sometimes you do productions, artists will come, I don't like it, you have to go and redo it, sometimes budget challenges and stuff. But this job, for you to go far, it's about the passion, and you have to be very creative. I always say this, creativity has no limitation. All you have to do is to think, then find out how best you can execute it and put it into motion. So I'll tell my creative people out there that they should keep on thinking, and create and explore. So, yeah.
One question I forgot to ask you was, how do you take your money from artists, especially if they are trying to play long, like they don't want to pay you? What do you do? Because the way you spoke passionately about this whole thing. I can see some kind of aggressiveness in you. So what do you do?
Well, normally, most of the times, I take part payment. Then after the production, there is a preview on it. So you have access to the video, but there is a preview on it. So if you release the full payment, then I give you the original copy.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Jewel Chinwe is a movie, video, and graphic editor. He's very renowned when it comes to these things. He was my guest today on the lifestyle segment as we discuss behind the scenes or behind the lens, understanding what goes into video, music video production. And I hope you have been informed and educated as well. So we'll be doing birthdays together. I can't let you all leave the studio, right? So we'll have to celebrate our very own James. Today is James' birthday, Joe.
Oh, yeah. I have a surprise for him.
You have a surprise.
Big surprise.
You've been working with James for some time now. What would you say about him in terms of his work and other things? Don't
I love,
him,
oh, no. Honestly, I love, James is good. James is good, and I like how creative he is, especially with his camera handling. Yeah, and one uniqueness about him, he doesn't know, but I'm saying it.
Say it.
Yeah.
He's listening.
Yeah. I like the way he's very particular about his lighting. Yeah. When he wants to take a picture or a video, he's very particular about the kind of lighting. Yeah, and I really love that about him.
James, this is coming from your boss. Happy birthday to you. Now let's take our breaker. We'll be back with some more birthdays.
I heard today was your birthday. I heard today was your birthday.
Yes, and of course, the June Bonds, we are still rocking here in the studios of Clock TV. So let's see who our first or second birthday celebrant is. Okay, so this is from James. Jua, will you read that for us?
Okay. Happy birthday, Alice. May the Lord continue to bless you abundantly. From James.
Jua, why did you skip the surname?
I don't want to mention that one. I want to play safe.
Okay, so let's take the next birthday. Okay, this is to the man himself. Happy birthday, James. Your hard work, creative eye, and dedication behind the lens keeps Clock TV shining. Wishing you a fantastic year filled with success and happiness. From all of us at Clock TV, we say a happy birthday. Our lunch is on you. Hey, James again. Okay, Jewel, let's go.
You are not getting older. You are just leveling up.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to a girl who's one of a kind. From my darling James. Aisha to Aisha.
Where is the darling?
Oh, I thought it was a darling girl.
Okay. So, yeah, it's always a vibe with Jewel. And if you're wanting to work with Jewel, he's always available. You can contact him on... He doesn't want to put his number out there, but don't worry, just send a message to Clock TV and we'll get him for you for all your productions. A very big thank you to Thanksgiving Salon for my beautiful hair. Yeah, I had to turn mine so that, yeah, thank you so much. Thanksgiving Salon is located at Pokwase, close to the cemetery. Yeah, thank you so much for my beautiful hair. And we'll take our business update, and then right after that, we'll come back for sports.
We do M-I-M-I, Diva-less, a.k.a. You know the name?
Ghana music has really been has really been doing great stuff.
whenever Mr. Drew's on stage, it's a blast.
Are you ready to dive into the heart of entertainment? Let's start where we explore the latest trends in the entertainment industry. From viral moments to hottest celebrity stars, we've got you covered. Have questions? We want to hear from you. Your voice matters. Let's vibe together. I got a secret. Do you want to hear it? You're always on my mind.
In a world where neutrality in the civil service is paramount, Ghana finds itself at a crossroad.
CLOSAG says that a certain action should be taken, but government has to act on the basis of law. So we inquired as to what the premise for that demand is.
They say if you wish to broadcast or otherwise manifest your political allegiance or run political office, step away from the services. This is Supreme Court talking. It's not CLOSAG speaking or Isaac Wampado speaking. This is the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court judgment on the landmark case of CLOSAG versus the Attorney General has set the stage for a profound transformation. Introducing Resetting the Civil Service. Tune in to be part of this change, because a better civil service means a better Ghana.
I find it refreshing always when I remind myself of the profound statement by the eminent civil servant, the Anankwa of blessed memory, to the effect that it is the perfection of the civil servant that will move this country forward, and not the politician.
To add all those test pots to like application to something like this. Yes. Oh, that's quick. That's crazy. That was quick. He's going to be able to draw a level. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Labor, they say, is the backbone for national development, playing a vital role in shaping economic growth, fostering social stability, and enhancing overall productivity. As the workforce undergoes continuous transformation,
You're welcome back to the Koko Digest Morning Show. It is still me, Miriam Abna Adede, sitting in for our regular Benedict Nketia Kwatain and bringing you our sports update for today. Now, moving straight into our first story. Abraham Kote Nikwe, president of the Ghana Boxing Authority, has announced his resignation effective Friday, June 27, 2025. Now, the announcement was made via a press release Wednesday evening and shared by the GBA's communications director, Mohammed Amin Lamte. Nikwe cited personal reasons for his departure, calling the decision difficult to make. He will formally announce his resignation at a press conference at the GBA Secretariat on Friday. In a statement, Nikwe expressed gratitude for his time in office and the insights gained. Now, away from that, former Ghana international Michael Essien has signed a new 2-year deal to remain as assistant coach of FC Nordsjælland. The club confirmed the extension, which will keep Essien with the Danish side for the next 2 seasons. Essien, who initially joined the club as a player coach, has been an integral part of the coaching staff since 2020. The 42-year-old holds a UEFA A license and has completed additional UEFA courses. He previously turned down an opportunity to be Ghana's assistant coach in 2024. Now to an international story. Lyon, the 7-time French champions, have been relegated to League 2 after failing to convince authorities of their financial stability. Now the club is appealing the decision. Lyon's financial troubles led to the provisional relegation in November, and despite selling players, the National Directorate of Management Control upheld the decision. The club is owned by John Textor, who recently sold his stake in Crystal Palace. Lyon finished 6th in League 1 last season. And to our last story, Ghana international Komaldeen Sulemana is close to joining Atlanta in the ongoing transfer window. Atlanta has made an improved bid of around 15 million euros, and negotiations with Southampton, I beg your pardon, are in the final stages. Sulemana, who made 26 Premier League appearances last season, is expected to feature in Serie A for the first time in his career. His contract with Southampton is set to expire in 2027. And that is all we have for you on our sports update today. Once again, I sat in for Benedict Nketia Kwarteng, who will be joining us next week. Up next is the business segment with Peter.
Hello and many thanks for joining me on the Business Update segment right here on the Koko Digest Morning Show. I am Peter Nsia, and now let's get started with some stories in the world of business. The Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PRC, has announced a 2.45% increase in electricity tariffs effective July 1, 2025, following its quarterly review. In contrast, water tariffs will remain unchanged for this quarter.
The tariff adjustment considers key economic factors, including the cedi to dollar exchange rate, inflation projected at 20.67%, natural gas prices, and the hydrothermal generation mix. Notably, Lifeline customers will see their rates rise from 77.6274 to 79.5308 Ghana pesos per kilowatt hour, while residential rates increase from 232.3892 to 238.0873 Ghana pesos per kilowatt hour. The PURC emphasized its commitment to balancing consumer interest with utility providers and ensuring accountability and reliable service delivery.
And away from that story, Gabriel Kumi, chairman of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, announced that Ghana requires around $3 billion United States dollars to secure 6 months' worth of fuel reserves.
This statement was made during an economic forum on June 25, 2025, in light of the instability caused by the Iran-Israel war, which has affected global oil prices. Kumi highlighted the critical role of strategic fuel reserves for energy security and economic stability amid external supply disruptions. He acknowledged that while the concept of national fuel stockpiles has been discussed, actual investments have been limited due to financial and infrastructure challenges. The 6 months fuel buffer would help stabilize prices and mitigate supply chain impacts.
And in our last story, the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, has introduced a 15% value-added tax on non-life insurance premiums, effective July 1, 2025. This tax will apply to policies related to property, health, and travel, with motor insurance remains exempt.
Part of the 2025 national budget, this measure aims to expand the tax base and enhance public service funding. As a result, businesses and individuals will face increased premiums for non-life insurance, possibly leading some consumers to reconsider or lower their coverage. While this initiative may bolster government revenue, it could also impose additional financial strain on households and small to medium-sized enterprises grappling with a high inflation landscape.
And that is all we have for you on the Business Update segment right here on the Koko Digest Morning Show. I am Peter Nsia. Up next is the main segment with Yaira Awono. Stay tuned.
This is how we do. M-I, Diva-less, a.k.a. You know the name?
Ghana music has really been put in, has really been doing great stuff.
Whenever Mr. Drew's on stage, it's a blast.
Are you ready to dive into the heart of entertainment? Let's start where we explore the latest trends in the entertainment industry. From viral moments to hottest celebrity stars, we've got you covered. Have questions? We want to hear from you. Your voice matters. Let's vibe together.
I got a secret. Do you wanna hear it? You're always on my mind.
In a world where neutrality in the civil service is paramount, Ghana finds itself at a crossroad.
CLOSAG says that a certain action should be taken, but government has to act on the basis of law. So we inquired as to what the premise for that demand is.
They say if you wish to broadcast or otherwise manifest your political allegiance or run political office, step away from the services. This is Supreme Court talking. It's not CLOSAG speaking or Isaac Wampado speaking. This is the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court judgment on the landmark case of CLOSAG versus the Attorney General has set the stage for a profound transformation. Introducing Resetting the Civil Service. Tune in to be part of this change, because a better civil service means a better Ghana.
I find it refreshing always when I remind myself of the profound statement by the eminent civil servant, the Tan Anankwa of blessed memory, to the effect that it is the perfection of the civil servant that will move this country forward, and not the politician.
Voila, sir.
To add all those test works, like application to something like this. Yes. Oh, okay. Alright, that's quick. That's crazy. That was quick. He's gonna be able to draw the ball. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
In a world where neutrality in the civil service is paramount, Ghana finds itself at a crossroad.
CLOSAG says that a certain action should be taken, but government has to act on the basis of law. So we inquired as to what the premise for that demand is.
They say if you wish to broadcast or otherwise manifest your political allegiance or run political office, step away from the services. This is Supreme Court talking. It's not CLOSAG speaking or Isaac Wampado speaking. This is the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court judgment on the landmark case of CLOSAG versus the Attorney General has set the stage for a profound transformation. Introducing Resetting the Civil Service. Tune in to be part of this change, because a better civil service means a better Ghana.
I find it refreshing always when I remind myself of the profound statement by the eminent civil servant, the Tan Anankwa of blessed memory, to the effect that it is the perfection of the civil servant that will move this country forward, and not the politician.
From the loudest roar of celebrations to the deafening silence of defeat, we live it here on Clock Sports. Feel every punch, every tackle, and relive all the beautiful sporting moments with us.
Mohamed Salisu pounces for Ghana.
Join us on Mondays and Fridays 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. and our midweek special on Wednesdays 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m.
What?
like application to something like this? Oh, okay. That's quick. That's crazy. That's quick. He's going to be able to draw a level. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
In a world where neutrality in the civil service is paramount, Ghana finds itself at a crossroad.
CLOSAG says that a certain action should be taken, but government has to act on the basis of law. So we inquired as to what the premise for that demand is.
Yeah, welcome back to the Koko Digest Morning Show. And if you're just tuning in, it's time for the main discussion. And today's topic, we're dealing with empowering poultry production. And the very first guest will be joining us via phone call, and he's in the person of Mr. Kofi Atakakra Kusi. He is the Deputy Director at Domestic Marketing at the Ghana Tourism Authority. Then the second guest is Mr. Enes Boating, the President of Interfaith World Tourism Club. And then we have Mr. Blessed Danso, who is the Head of Projects at Agri House Foundation. Now, as you know, as always, you have to send your comments to our WhatsApp number that will be displayed on your screens, or onto our Facebook and YouTube live streams, and I will do my best to read them. And if you have any questions as well, please do send them. And when the phone lines are opened, I will also alert you. So Ghana Poultry Day is a national event initiated by Agri House Foundation in collaboration with key public and private sector stakeholders to spotlight the importance of poultry industry in Ghana's food system. Now, in its 5th year, the event brings together industry players, policymakers, farmers, agribusinesses, and consumers to celebrate the contributions of the poultry value chain to the national economy. Now, the day seeks to promote consumption of locally produced poultry products and highlights the sector challenges as well as opportunities, foster collaborations, and inspire youth and women to venture into poultry agribusiness. Now, the government will next month roll out the pilot phase of its flagship poultry initiative, which is the Nkukon Kitten Kitten that we always hear, and in the northern region as part of efforts to reduce the country's heavy reliance on imported chicken and eggs. The project will also create sustainable jobs for young people in agriculture. And then 12 districts have been selected for the initial rollout, with the initiative expected to eventually benefit over 55,000 households nationwide and significantly enhance youth employment in the poultry industry. So today we're going to be talking all about poultry. Now, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Yes, Mr. Enes Boating, can you tell us a little bit about Interfaith World Tourism Club?
Interfaith Tourism World, mostly we say it's ITW Club. It's a tourism club. It's a religious
tourism club that bridge the gap between all religious bodies from all faiths, from all angles. So we believe that once we are on this earth, we are one people living on the same earth. Therefore, our motto is one people, one nation. That's what we one people, one nation, and we show love to each other. So our key point is to be able to project our message to all the religious bodies, especially going to the schools, the churches, and with Muslim community to be able to advocate about the dialogue, have a dialogue with them, to let them know and understand the essence, the importance of living in harmony with each other. So interfaith tourism world, our key factor is to bridge the gap between all religious bodies from all faiths.
Okay, wow. Now, Blessed Dan, so you're the head of projects for Agri House Foundation. It's in the name, Agri House Foundation, but can you tell us a little bit about Agri House Foundation?
Okay. First of all, I would like to say good morning once again to our listeners and viewers, and also thank my parents, Mr. and Mrs. Danso, for all the love and care showed all over the years, and also say a big thank you to our executive director, Abeta Nanaicha Akusa, and the team at Agri House Foundation. So at Agri House Foundation, we are an NGO, and what we basically do is we identify the gaps in the agricultural value chain and see how we can bring about projects to curb or reduce these negative impacts in the agricultural sector. Basically, that is what we do at Agri House Foundation.
Right. So I think in my earlier intro, I saw something about World Poultry Day. Sorry, not poetry. Poultry Day. What is that about? How did it come about?
Okay, as I said earlier, in Agri House Foundation, what we seek to do is identify the gaps in the agricultural value chain or sector and bridge them with our projects. So the Ghana Poultry Day Festival is also an initiative to see the gaps in the poultry industry and bridge the gaps. So even when we started, it was the Ghana Chicken Festival. We realized that when we talk of poultry, it's not only chicken. So we had to broaden the name. So it now became the Ghana Poultry Day Festival from the Ghana Chicken Festival. Okay. So what we seek to do is to identify the opportunities within the poultry industries and also the challenges, and see how we can work collaboratively with stakeholders, both public and private stakeholders, in curbing these challenges within the poultry value chain or the poultry industry.
Okay, how long has this festival been in existence?
So the maiden edition was in 2021. Okay. So so far we've experienced the poultry festival for 4 years now. This year will be the 5th edition.
All right. So let's go into poultry. What does poultry farming really involve? Because you mentioned the value chain as well. Okay, let's start with the value chain. What does the value chain entail in poultry? Why do I keep saying poultry? Poultry, sorry.
So the value chain is broad, but we can break it down into 3 major aspects. We have the input, we have the processing, and we have the output. Okay. So in the input aspect, we can start right from the agro input dealers, which entails seeds, fertilizers, irrigation, machinery, and the likes. So these people are the foundation of the input industry, and they are the ones that feed the immediate producers. Okay. So the farmer, that's when the farmer comes in, the crop farmer comes in. So he goes for the seeds of maize, soya beans, and through the agro input or agrochem dealer, he gets his fertilizers and chemicals to produce his crops. Then after that, we quickly jump into the processing aspect, where we have the we can also have the poultry farmers there, where they kill and process and package the poultry birds nicely, and the output goes to the wholesalers, retailers, and even as for you yourself, the consumer. So basically, in a nutshell, this is the summary of the value chain. But the value chain can be very complex.
All right. Okay, so Mr. Ernest Parting, what makes poultry production very crucial to the economy?
It is very important for us to enter into the poultry production because Ghana, we consume a lot of poultry products. And if you look at our statistics, you can even testify that Ghanaian Times was saying that we consume about 600 million tons within a year. So just imagine we are consuming this, and most of our consumptions are imported goods and imported products. So when we import a lot of poultry from outside, then it's a key factor. This will be a challenge. Therefore, there's a need for us to be able to locally produce our products, our goods, so that we can also consume our goods. Right. If you look at the poultry sector as well as the Agri-House Foundation, one of the key factors for the past years that we have initiated this kind of good projects, the idea is to be able to encourage the citizens to be able to consume more of locally produced. But how can you consume when you don't produce it? That's the question that we need to be concerned about. So our idea is to be able to encourage the farmers to go into the poultry aspect of it. So it is very key because food security is a factor here. We consume more, we are not producing more. Therefore, when you consume more and you are not producing more, you'll be importing more. And once you are importing more, you are bringing a lot of cost into your budget, and it will affect you, as well as nutrition aspect of it. If you look at the locally manufactured products of the poultry, you can just imagine the nutrition aspect of it, the benefits we get from all this poultry. Comparing to I don't want to condemn the foreign aspect of it, that foreign birds are not that much, but you cannot compare the foreign birds to the local birds. You can. So
would you also say that we cannot exactly trust the processes under which these foreign products are they go through before they get here, compared to ours?
We cannot solely condemn it, but you can believe. Mostly, you have to just let me testify. You believe in what you produce because it is produced here and you have access to it. But whatever, when they are producing outside, what do you see? You might not have oversight. You might not have oversight of whatever is happening. But once it is produced here, you know the processes that it goes through. You know how it is meant for. And I can tell you for a fact that I love my own. And if you look at the local food we produce, the birds, you can just say, you can see how it tastes good comparing to the foreign one, the frozen one. But you can see Ghanaians one, if you have especially the backyard farming and you have some small groups there and you are doing own thing, you believe that it will give you the best enough. Yeah, right. So we cannot solely say that their own is not, but in percentage wise, you cannot compare the foreign to the locally manufactured product.
All right. So how do your organizations encourage more people to get into poultry farming?
Okay, thank you. Then let me take the opportunity to say Interfaith Tourism World. Let me appreciate all the executives and members of Interfaith Tourism World and all my colleagues. We, as a tourism club, our idea is to be able to support any initiative that brings about development, growth to our nation. Therefore, if you look at tourism, we have different types of tourism. We have ecotourism, we have leisure tourism, and even have agri-tourism. That's the agro-tourism. So the moment Agri-House Foundation came in with this big idea, and you say, well, Ghana Tourism Authority, Ministry of Tourism, Art and Culture, and especially Interfaith Tourism, we say, wow, it's a great idea because we can tap into that blessing of the agri-tourism aspect of it. And what is agri-tourism? It's mostly coming down to the level of those days that you used to, I don't know whether you've been to farming before, you have been into her, but those days that we used to go to our villages and the farm, if you go there, you see how they plant, the process in which even your own cassava or your farm produce come out. You love the idea of knowing how the process goes. Yeah. So with the moment they came in with the idea of the poultry, Ghana Poultry, they said, wow, it's a great initiative, and we will fall into the aspect of agri-tourism. The agri-tourism, that's where the poultry aspect comes in. So the interfaith tourism world, we align ourselves with the big idea of the CEO, that's Nana Akosa. She's a great woman with that great initiative, and we think we need to go all out and support the idea of Agri-House Foundation.
Okay, so Agri-House Foundation, how do you also encourage people to get into poultry farming?
Yes, so as I said, we bridge the gap in the agricultural value chain. So we realized that poultry farming is very lucrative, and through our projects, for instance, one of it is the Agricultural Student Boot Camp, where we want to encourage the participation of students in the country, across the country. So we camp them for 1 week, where we renew their minds, because we realize that the youth, when they think about agriculture, most of the time they think of hoe and cutlass, and it's kind of like a punishment, a burden upon them. But within the 1 week boot camp, we take them to agribusiness companies where they appreciate the modernized agriculture, or the essence of agri. For instance, just the recent AXA we had this year's May, we took them to Ransboot Farm, where they saw how the farm is well structured, the beauty of even management. We have finance, we have a farm manager, and all of that. It kind of increased the enthusiasm of the students to venture into poultry farming. So we have testimonies of the students coming back to thank us and letting us know that this initiative have opened their eyes to the agricultural sector. At first, when they sit down, they feel lost, they don't know what they are about, but this has opened the eyes of youth, and we've held it for 8 years now. So over the 8 years, we've been able to impact roughly over 90,000 students across the country, directly and indirectly. And we are excited about this. And also, another way of also encouraging the public is also renewing their minds, because they see our poultry as not the best. It's a misconception among Ghanaians when they think about our own. Sometimes they feel like what comes from abroad is the best. But to add up to what Ernest was saying, it's not that we don't trust, but sometimes the imported chickens or frozen chickens are kept there for a long time, and it depreciates the nutrients in the poultry. But over here, when we produce our own, even how we nurture them naturally and all of that, less chemicals and all of those things, it gives more nutrition to the poultry that we consume. So we are also advocating. So that's one of the essence of the Ghana Poultry Day. But we are advocating and encouraging the public to consume more of our locally produced poultry products, and also venture into it. These are the things.
Okay, so you mentioned that the poultry does not only involve chicken, and I know about confirm and ducks and probably goose. I don't think we have goose or geese in Ghana. But what else? What are the other birds that form poultry farming in Ghana?
It looks like you just mentioned quite
a number of them.
We have ducks, as you said. We have quails, which are very also nutritious. We have turkey.
Yes, turkey. Yes.
And some other wild birds too.
I think the way she's saying turkey, that means she loves turkey.
Yes, I like turkey.
If you love turkey, then come to the day of Ghana Poultry Day. Come there and you will enjoy it.
Yeah. Right. So, would you say that there's more pressure on the production of chicken compared to the other birds?
I would say yes, because when you think of the chicken, it is affordable. Yes, the cost involved in getting chicken with egg. I think the affordability is one of the things that is making Ghanaians consume more of chicken than the other birds. Because if you look at the cost of turkey, relatively, when you compare the prices, you can see that there is a huge financial gap between that. And it doesn't mean that always the chicken is the best from that of the duck. the duck or the turkey, but it's the cost. And it is available. It's easy for you to get access to chicken than to get access to turkey and other things. So this is the time we have to take opportunity to encourage other farmers also to go into the aspect of the turkey and that of the duck farming, because mostly we are all concentrating on the chicken. So the akusiani, and that's what we are now focusing on. So
assuming I want to venture into poultry farming, and based on maybe statistics or the data out there, I've realized that, okay, chicken is more lucrative. How would you encourage someone like me to venture into turkey or guinea fowl production?
Okay, so I think the same process that you will use in rearing the chicken, the same process you...
Yes, but compared to my ROI by the end of maybe 6 months, I may make more with chicken than I may make with the guinea fowl or even turkey. So something like that, how do you encourage so that you have a broader set of people, or on the value chain, we have more people investing in guinea fowls or turkey or ducks?
You know, although chicken is more preferable, that doesn't mean that Ghanaians don't like other birds.
Okay.
And somehow, and it depends on your geographical location, where you are in Ghana. Because when you go to the north, we have the guinea fowl, they are confirmed, which is also one of their key and very lucrative. But I've realized that over the years, the southern belt or the southern part of Ghana also patronizes the guinea fowl a lot. So one thing we can do is, that's why the Poultry Day is here. We educate the public or our own Ghanaians about other poultry birds. For instance, I didn't know that the quail egg was very, very nutritious.
But it's quite small, will it?
And from the egg secretariat, I learned that they are even more nutritious than the chicken eggs and all of that. And I was like, wow, so I didn't know this. So you see, when knowledge comes in, it brings about liberation in the captive of ignorance, you know. People now know that, oh, so this is what this bird can do, this is what this bird. So I think education and advocacy is the way forward to encourage people to venture into other aspects than just chicken. Because the guinea fowl too is one nutritious, very nutritious bird. So, and yes, so that is some of the things we'll be highlighting on at the Ghana Poultry event.
We have to start educating people,
educating the public more about
the farmers love to go into the chicken aspect than the other one. But I think the cost involved is also a factor. Sometimes when you are advocating or educating people to venture into something, you should also plan ways and means to support them. Because if someone can just be at the backyard farming and just do a chicken small thing and they are gone. By venturing into turkey and other, and there's a stereotype, especially the duck. In those days, we see that the duck, they say they turn into snakes and other things. Just imagine our, unless we change our paradigm shift, we change our ways of thinking, then how can people change their ways of thinking? It's only education and trying the best ways to support them. So we will encourage on that very day, and from now going, we are encouraging all farmers to venture into other part of the poultry.
So wouldn't the prices also play a role? Because as you said, something like quail eggs are very nutritious. Isn't that likely to affect the price, that it may be more expensive than the usual chicken eggs?
Mostly for when it comes to prices, it doesn't just come out of the blue. It's a chain, and it starts from production. The cost of seed, the cost of fertilizer, the cost of chemicals and all of those things. Those are the factors that leads to price, or that determines price most of the time. Apart from maybe a farmer just getting up to say, as for me, I'll sell my egg at this price, or being selfish. But it's all starts, it's a chain. So that is where we call in policymakers to come in. for instance, subsidies to beat down the cost of these agro inputs products that will affect the cost of feeds. Because when the cost of feed comes down, it also directly affects the prices of the birds and also their eggs.
So, as you said, quail eggs are very nutritious. So now I want to do quail egg kosiane meko. What would motivate me to go into that? Because I know, first of all, the egg is very small, and Ghanaians want value for money, especially when it comes to quantity. So how would you encourage somebody to also start something like that to help create more awareness and education?
With encouragement, I think that the first thing is it starts from you. It starts from you. You first of all must be determined, make up your mind, because I think last 3 years or so, I was watching the news and seeing young business entrepreneurs who are into quail farming, and I learned that it was very, very creative and very profitable. So it starts from you, and thank God today we have social media and the likes. You would have to take it upon yourself to also educate people about it through social media and the likes. And through that, and the markets are there. As I said, although chicken is the most preferable bird in poultry, but that doesn't mean that Ghanaians don't know other birds or like other birds. Because when I even heard of the quail being profitable, it has market, people are buying. I was like, really? Because we all know it's chicken by then, 3 years ago. But yes, there are lovers of quail there. So all you have to do is to advertise or showcase your business, and you get the market.
Right. So in dealing with farmers of all kinds, but today we are limiting it to poultry farmers, what are some of the biggest challenges they have registered with you?
A lot. A lot. Anytime you want to venture into production, one of the things that comes in mind is what is going to be my ROI, return on investment. What am I going to get at the end of the day? What is going to be the profit? One of the challenges farmers always talk about is the funding. Funding is a challenge to them, because if you look at the banks, recently banks they are struggling getting loans, facilities from the banks to be able to support because until you get that capital or the financial leverage, it's difficult for you to expand. Because for you to expand, that makes it lucrative, because that is the main thing. And the next thing that sometimes I talk about is the infrastructure. When you talk about infrastructure, you just look at maybe you have a farmland in somewhere around a Koko land area, like in a village. Sometimes transporting that products from that town to the village to the town is a challenge. And sometimes your eggs and everything will still remain there, and you find it difficult. This is one of the challenges I'm also talking about. And aside that, the disease, sometimes when the disease comes in, you can even lose a whole lot of birds. And just imagine going to take a loan from a bank, and you, at the end of the day, the birds that you are trying to invest in to be able to get a great investment out of it, you end up all birds die. When they die, what next? Is the bank going to compensate you or try to compare with that? So sometimes it becomes getting the disease is a challenge to them as well.
So that being said, do you also engage prospective farmers in some kind of training and education, and even maybe liaising with some veterinary officials or professionals to be able to help with these issues? Because as you just mentioned, someone will take a loan, start a business, and then within a few weeks or months, avian flu or something comes to kill all the birds. As a farmer who comes to you, do you take them through any training and capacity building?
Okay, and also, not to take you back, but just to reflect on some key challenges too, is the Ghanaian mind, the mind of Ghanaian. As I said, they already have, when they think about the poultry industry, they prefer foreign birds than the local ones. So it already gives the foreign imported birds an advantage over theirs. So competition with foreign imported poultry product, it's also a major cry to the farmer because some of them are able to produce, but when they send it to the market, even prices, realize that the imported ones are cheaper as compared to the local ones. So this is a heavy burden on the poultry farmer. Yes, so this is also one thing I'd like to highlight on.
As a challenge,
yes. So as we are also saying that we have to also advise the farmers, the local farmers, to also beef up their game in terms of branding, because sometimes branding is a key factor. You look at a frozen chicken or you look at the way they package it, you can just see it and it attracts you. But just imagine our local bears will be walking around, moving around in the house sometimes. Just imagine and be taking worms and so sometimes the way we think, we have to also change our games, because before we can compete with the foreign producers, we have to also put beef up our game in terms of our branding and how to put things together. I think.
Right. Okay. So back to the question about the capacity building. Do you do that for prospective farmers?
So Agri-House as facilitators in the agribusiness, agricultural value chain. One thing we also do is capacity building, which is very, very, very key and important in resolving the challenges our poultry farmers go through. For instance, Agri-House and the Honorable Member of Parliament, Honorable Zaneto, have teamed up, and we have a project known as It Is Possible, where we were training people into animal farming in general, and poultry, which was one of them. So we bring on board experts from ministries, the Ministry of MOFA, and also other private sectors to come and equip the farmers with the trending knowledge or modern knowledge and the best way to go about their farming. It's something we do, and also in pre-harvest, which is by far the largest market linkage platform in the country, mostly held at the northern part of the country. We have capacity building sessions where we equip farmers with trending knowledge or the modern ways of going, because sometimes you realize that the old-fashioned or the old ways of farming are not working anymore. So in the pre-harvest, we have capacity building with both crop farmers and animal farmers, where we equip them with the right knowledge, even bringing on board financial institutions, as Ernest said, which is a very key challenge to the farmers. I remember last year, before the pre-harvest, I had a session with the farmers, and they were not just complaining, but they were really crying about finances. They need that support, they need that help to help them in producing for the country. They need that financial assistance.
Yes.
Right. So how often do you engage in the capacity building?
Okay, if most of our projects, right from the AgStart, the Youth in Agriculture 1 week boot camp event, we have capacity buildings in Wolf Agri, Women in Food and Agriculture Development. It's also, which is just coming on next month, 9th to 10th. It's also an avenue where we build the capacity of women in agriculture. And also even the Poultry Day events, we'll be having a session with the poultry farmers, and we are bringing experts to also equip them and give them the modern knowledge, the right way of going about things in today's world or in today's Ghana to get the best outcome in their poultry farming. Also, in pre-harvest, which will be in October 2, we'll be building. So if you look at it, very often, most of our projects, even when we partner with private or public organizations, we build capacity of farmers. Even as I'm talking right now, we are having the Boost to Bloom, which is in partnership with Agra in the North. We are building the capacity of households and farmers and supporting them for the one household, one garden. And it's something that we've been running over the years in the northern region in Ghana.
Right. So let's talk about the project that our president has started. What do you think about it, and how do you think it will benefit farmers and the economy as a whole?
It's a laudable initiative, and looking at the policies of the Koko is to create jobs, limit importation of poultry products into the country, and also secure food security within the country. And looking at it, it all aligns with the purpose or the goals of the Ghana Poultry Festival. So we are excited about this initiative from the president, and we are working hand in hand somehow with it, because already the Ghana Poultry Festival has been in existence before even the president bought this, and that has been the goal. And we are hoping that the government will support and uphold the poultry event, such that we can all work hand in hand to see to the vision of creating jobs within the poultry industry, limiting poultry products from abroad, and also food security, which is very key to the households in Ghana, because a lot of households consume chicken or poultry products.
Right. What's your take on the Koko Kitten project? From interfaith
point of view. Okay, one of the things that we as a tourism club believes in is the development and the growth of our citizens and our members. If you look at Koko Kitten, the whole idea is to be able to minimize the importation of the products. And once a policy is drive out of trying to build its own capacity as a nation, then it's the best initiative, because you are importing a lot from the foreign aspect, and you are losing a lot, because the more you import, the more you are also employing some people and also generating revenue for other countries. So once the Koko Kitten initiative has come in, we believe that AgriHouse Foundation, as he stated, that we've been there for some time now, and we need a government initiative to also support our dreams. Here's the case whereby economic benefit of it, as the Koko Kitten. If you have the way of employing more youth into that sector to be able to go into the farming, once they enter into the farming aspect of it, you have created an employment. And once employment is created, revenue is generated. And once revenue is generated for the nation, an income comes in for the young people. And once it is with them, they are able to also grow in diverse ways. So for interfaith tourism world, we believe that this is a good initiative and it must be commended. We have to also appreciate the government. But what we are also concerned about as interfaith tourism, to be able to see that the government implement it to a fullest, that all the young people in this nation will be able to, those who have the interest and love to go into farming, will be able to get a benefit. Once they get benefit, the nation as a whole benefits from it. So I believe it's a good initiative. Yeah.
Okay, so what are the key aspects of this initiative that you think the government should focus on? Because yes, I think they're going to be getting some beds and things like that for certain households or for a certain group of people. Aside getting the beds, what else is there? What else is necessary to make this project a success?
Okay, so I believe that sometimes, it's difficult for you to give something to someone who doesn't know the value, the essence of that thing that you're giving to the person.
Yeah.
So I cannot be at the point of saying I'm advising the government. I can only suggest to the government that at least they should be able to get well-experienced people, trainers. Before you give something to the people, you have to give them mentors, those who will train them to be able to know and understand the essence or the process in getting that best alive. Because you can have an initiative or come out and say, I want to give you 1,000 beds each. After giving the best, the next a week or two, you realize that about 500 is gone because the person doesn't have the technical know-how to know the essence or the. So one of the key things is to be able to, one, train people ahead of time. Identify the key people that need to have access to that. The farmers. You can equally use the experienced farmers, those who are in existence or those who have the backyard farming to start. If you look at AgriHouse Foundation, on the day, we'll be distributing chicken to a lot. They owe chicken to a lot of the people that the schools and that of the public that will be coming. But we will not just distribute it to the people. We will identify the key people who can do the job before we give to them, so that we can continue to mentor them, monitor them, the process how they so because when we're able to do that, definitely we will have a lot to enjoy. And so we think one of the key things is identify the right people to distribute. Continuous training, mentoring, making sure that these things that they are doing, and give them the capital. Because sometimes I will come in an idea that I want to also enjoy because maybe I belong to this color or that color, so I need about 20,000 beds. But if you don't give the people the capital, the place to rent it, because sometimes if you get in the location, location is a factor. Location is a factor because you can see you cannot rear chicken in the midst of a city and people are around. There's a lot of challenges that you encounter. So we have to identify the key places, the locations that will be good for the whole thing. So.
All right. So what would you like to add to that?
And also, in addition, I think policies too are very, very key. Apart from knowledge, which is the starting point, the environment, the kind of business environment the government also give these farmers would also be an incentive to drive the production and also to meet the goal of limiting importation and also causing Ghanaians to patronize more of the locally produced berries as compared to the imported ones. So policies are very, very key, such as subsidies and also infrastructure-wise is very, very important because if my road is not good and I have the birds, I have the eggs, and I want to get to the next community, it will be challenging. And what happens at the end? The birds will die, get rotten, eggs will also get rotten, and it's not good enough. So policies and infrastructure.
I think the government, once the government have that initiative and all, have that policy, that means they put in a lot of work. And we agree as Foundation, Interfaith Tourism World, we are also watching keenly because we have interest in it. Anything that is going to bring a positive into our nation, we have interest in it, and we believe that the government is going to come out with the outcome will be great. So we should expect more from the government on that aspect.
All right. So I know the poultry production has a value chain, a very long one.
Yes.
Now, assuming, me, I'm here, I can't be handling birds, but I want to get into poultry. I will not have time to be checking on the chicks, injecting them, giving them food. What are the other key parts of this value chain that I could also be useful on?
Okay, so initially, if you remember, I said that the value chain is very complicated. So there are a lot of opportunities.
Yes, the opportunities. I would like you to break them down so that people watching can.
So you as a youth can look at when you look at the input sector, you can be an agro input dealer.
Okay, so what does that entail?
So selling fertilizers. So it's not a complicated thing to do.
Okay.
Just register your business, write to an agro input dealer like Yara, Rainbow and the likes, and just.
Okay. So I want us to break it down systematically. So let's start with the input. What are some of the opportunities in the input sector for this value chain? So we've talked about the fertilizer sales and production, sales. What else is there?
Apart from the sales too, we have the machinery aspect.
Okay.
Maybe equipment used in the value chain. You can also source from wherever you are. You can go to the head office of these companies, write to them a good proposal, and be their supplier there. So machinery is one aspect. And another aspect is irrigation.
Okay.
Irrigation for farms. You can also get a good proposal, right, to the company to be a supplier in their communities.
So with the irrigation, it means that maybe I'm going to get water from somewhere and bring to them.
So the irrigation aspect, the setup in your locality, you can be an irrigation expert in your locality to help farmers establish irrigations in their farms, and also seeds like the main or major seed crops used in the poultry farming is soya beans and maize.
Okay.
These are the main ones. You can also be a seed salesperson in your community.
Okay, so it means you buy the seeds from a warehouse and then you sell to the farmers as well.
Yes. And also,
okay.
there are and also extension officer where you go to the farms and educate farmers in the good agricultural practices, the best things to do for bumper harvest and the likes. And okay,
so that's where the input part of it.
Yes.
So what's the next after input?
So the next after input is the production aspect.
Okay.
Because if I have my seeds, I have my fertilizer, if I have my mechanization put in place, what do I do next? Is to produce. So the next thing is putting these things together to get the crop. So that is where we have farmers. So another value chain, and it's also a lucrative place for the youth. So any youth listening to me this morning, you can go into farming, soya beans, maize, because the market, the demand in this market is very big. I remember last year, a company was rushing after soya beans back to back. So that's one of the areas the youth can focus in.
So as part of the poultry value chain, you can also be a grain farmer
Yes.
where you grow maybe maize and soya beans,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes.
So with that, it means that as a soya bean farmer, you're going to be liaising with poultry farmers or fertilizer makers. Or feed makers, sorry, yes.
Yes, so you are the farmer, so you liaise or network with the input dealers and also the feeds companies.
Okay.
So you be the middle.
Right. So I think we mentioned fertilizer, but in poultry, do we really need fertilizer?
Yes, we need because of first of all production.
Okay.
Production.
So do the chickens eat the fertilizer or
not
for
the
their
chicken,
food?
for their food.
Okay, so that's for the feed.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
The raw material, the maize that will be processed with other antibiotics and other stuffs to produce the feed for the poultry or the bird.
So on the production value chain, aside the maize and the soya bean farming, what else is there? What else is available for?
So next, when this is, so even within the production, extension officers too are very key there, and also we have farm managers. So another opportunity there is the farm manager who sees to the day-to-day activities of the farm.
Okay.
So that's also another opportunity. Apart from being the immediate, in agriculture, the right word for a farmer is an agronomist, or the technical word is an agronomist. So you can be an agronomist. We have farm managers, and we have the agribusiness. Okay, the farm manager can play both roles as a farm manager and the agribusiness aspects.
Okay, so it's time for a quick break. When we come back, we will continue the conversation on the opportunities on the poultry value chain. So don't go anywhere, call a friend, and we'll be right back.
From the loudest roar of celebrations to the deafening silence of defeat, we live it here on Clock Sports. Feel every punch, every tackle, and relive all the beautiful sporting moments with us.
Join us on Mondays and Fridays 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. and our midweek special on Wednesdays 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m.
provide a robust platform for in-depth discussions surrounding employment relations, the rights of workers, the quest for industrial harmony, and evolving landscape of work. Walatu Walasa seeks to bring to bear the challenges and opportunities facing the labor force today, making a significant contribution to public discourse. My name is Edmond Akwe, your host for Walatu Walasa.
To add all those test pots to like application to something like this.
Oh, okay, all right, that's quick. That's crazy. That was quick. He's gonna be able to draw a level. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
And you're welcome back to the Koko Digest Morning Show. And if you're just tuning in, we're talking about empowering poultry production here. And this is in light of the Koko Kitten project that has been started. And my guests here are Mr. Blessed Danso and Mr. Ernest Boateng of Agri House Foundation and Interfaith World Tourism Club, respectively. And they're educating us on what we need to know about the poultry farming and the value chain. Now, we have a comment here from Barrister Kojo. He says, very insightful conversation. Thank you. So that is a reminder that you can send in your comments and questions to our WhatsApp number displayed onto your screen. And when the phone lines are opened, I will do well to alert you so you can call. And you can also send your comments and questions to our YouTube or Facebook live stream as well, and I will read them. So back to opportunities on the value chain. We're talking about production. Yes. So someone who doesn't want to exactly deal with the birds, what other opportunities are there in terms of the production phase of the value chain?
So it's very vast, but I'll try to mention those that I come across here. So another opportunity is even the manufacturing aspects or the key equipment for the poultry farmer is very essential, like the battery cages. So another opportunity for the youth out there is the battery cages and even the feeding bowls and all of those things. So this, although we are looking at being independent, we can't be fully independent. We still need one or two supports from foreign countries, and that is the existence of life. No man can live on his own. Yeah. We all need one another to live. So one thing the youth can also look at is importing or looking out.
We are trying to reduce the importation of goods.
Yeah. So I'll come to that. I'll come to that. For now, maybe I think there are a few, or there are not even any manufacturers of the battery cage. But for now, what the youth can do is to liaise with companies abroad, like the Chinese company, and identify battery cages that they can import to sell to the poultry farmers. That's also another business that can be looked at. And another thing is that, fine, maybe for some time, for a short while, we can look at the importation of such equipment. But I will encourage the youth, especially in partnership with the welders out there. So what even a welder can go and buy an original battery cage, study more about it, do more research about it, and also manufacture it for the poultry farmers, and which can be a source of income and job creation for the country as well. So that is also another aspect we can explore.
So after the production, what's the third stage of the value chain?
After the production. The immediate aspect is storage.
Okay.
The storage aspect, and so we have the cold chain. So we have the cold chain, as in, when we kill the poultry, we have to sustain the lifespan of the poultry bed. So we look at dressing them, packaging them, and storing them. So if you heard Sir Ernest earlier, he said that when a Ghanaian goes to the market, he sees a well or neatly packaged bed, even cheaper, and looks like Ghanaian own package anyhow. It's not attractive. The consumer's taste has increased.
Yeah.
So when the consumer goes there and see that, of course, so that's another thing we can look at, packaging. Packaging too. So it's also another business venture where it can also create job for the Ghanaian youth. We can copy and learn. I believe in copying and learning. So we can look at what the people outside are doing well, that is fetching them the market, and also copy.
Okay.
So I've seen some of the foreign package beds, and I believe you all here have also seen. It's just maybe if it's so the specification. We have the breast of the chicken, we have the thigh, all these things, or they call it the drums of the chicken. So you just go into maybe the wings too. So they just cut only the wings part of the bed, and they package it nicely, put it in a box. Maybe it might not be a box, but you must start from somewhere, but just do something beautiful. So these are the opportunities that also comes in.
Right. So let's say as a vet, right? Medical association, all that, we haven't been posted, but maybe I think I remember Daku Farms from when I was younger. So let's say Daku Farms is still in operation, and for some reason I'm able to meet the owner. Am I allowed to liaise with him that, I want to be your go-to veterinary doctor for the health of your birds, as a way so maybe based on commission or something, I can also be making money from there while I wait for maybe my posting, or that's not allowed?
Oh, it's allowed, and I think the poultry farmer will be excited to have you, because the aim of the poultry farmer is to have healthy birds to maximize profit. So if you are an unemployed, you shouldn't even wait. It's a business venture. You can go around and liaise with as many poultry farmers that you meet to sign these deals with them to check and make sure their birds are healthy.
Right.
So the veterinary aspect is another opportunity for the youth outside there to also venture in.
Okay.
And even being a scientist in it. And sometimes it's not just about talking, but it's about showing the way. I was talking about packaging and the like. So thank God we have companies in Ghana that are into these rubbers and all of those packaging. You can go, maybe, as I was saying, that you can go into packaging. Someone's like, but I don't have the machines to do the rubber or the paper and all that. There are companies out there doing that. Identify them, serve as their agent in your, or even just establish a shop. Go and buy, be a wholesaler or a retailer, and be supplying to them. It's a form of business.
Yeah. Can you believe that one of our events, a lady came with a branded pillow with feathers in, just use feathers to do that pillow. And if you look at the way people were patronizing it, it will surprise you. When you look at the poultry aspect of it, you just don't look at the meat. The aspect. Even the feathers can be used for something beneficial.
Okay.
The eggs is medicinal. The eggs are medicinal. So sometimes we only focus on the meat aspect and we just throw the rest away. But I've forgotten that we can use all the feathers for even a pillow. Yeah. I don't know whether you've experienced before when you had a pillow that they use.
Has feathers. Apparently it's very soft, yes.
Yeah, very soft.
Right.
And you can have a good dreams out of it.
Good dreams, wow. So we have Mr. Kofi Atakaka-Kusi on the line. He's the Deputy Director for Domestic Marketing at the Ghana Tourism Authority. Good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning, Clock TV. May I kindly give a link to your viewers and then also your panel discussion?
Right. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes. Could you please reduce the volume on your set?
Please come again.
Your set. Could you please reduce the volume? We're getting feedback.
Please come again.
Could you please reduce the volume of your set or move away from your set? We are getting feedback.
Okay, there is no set in my. I'm not with.
Oh, okay. So maybe it's a network issue. Sorry. So thank you so much once again for joining us. Could you tell us a little bit about the Koko Kitten Kitten project and how Ghana Tourism Authority is going to play a role in that?
Yes. Thank you very much once again. We, as the Ghana Tourism Authority, under the leadership of our Chief Executive, Mrs. Mamie Fawajato, and our collaborators and partners to the Ghana Pottery Day that Agri House Foundation is hosting, which is a very big milestone, which of course this is they have done it over the years, and the Tourism Authority have always supported and been collaborators and partners. This year we are coming on board again as partners and collaborators again, due to the fact that this is a wonderful, of course, an event that brings together the value chain within the poultry industry. Everybody who matters within the poultry industry comes to bear. And with us at the Tourism Authority, ours is to promote and market anything Ghanaian, right? So we are looking at more especially our domestic marketing campaign, more like the East Ghana campaign, which has to do with eating Ghanaian food, right? During the Ghana Pottery Day on the 1st of July, there is going to be a lot of exhibitors. And these are Ghanaian exhibitors doing something to uplift the image of Ghana out there, both domestically and internationally. So it's really very important for us at the Tourism Authority to be part of this whole exercise. Fortunately enough, it is coinciding with the launch of the 24-hour economy and also the Thanksgiving service, which of course, the National Thanksgiving service, which of course dovetails into the fact that we, as in the tourism industry, we are multi-sectorial. So we deal with almost everybody within the various departments and agencies. So if you look at we being multi-sectorial, we are looking at it from the angle that every sector of the local economy obviously has an impact on tourism. So anytime any sector is doing something, it behoves on us to also be part of it and then help push and promote our locally based products. And also, this has to do with our local pottery, which of course also goes beyond the entire value chain. So if you ask, that is exactly why the Tourism Authority is on board.
Right. Thank you so much. So as a Ghana Tourism Authority, how exactly would you be able to try to attract more foreign direct investment into our Ghanaian poultry value chain?
Hello, the line is very faint. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, please. The line is very faint. Can you?
All right. Okay. So I was asking that as GTA, how are you going to be able to try to attract some foreign direct investment into the Ghanaian poultry value chain?
Good. Thank you very much. If you look at the theme dovetails into agri-tourism. The theme for this year's Ghana Poultry Day, which falls on the 1st of July, which will be held at the State House, right? It dovetails into the theme has to do with agri-tourism. Now, what we are doing is that as part of the Black Star Experience, which is the government flagship program, what we are doing is to be able to connect our diaspora brothers and sisters and also our tourists that come into our foreigners, right? So we have our Chefs Association as part of it. We have the Ghana Hotels Association. We have the Tour Operators Union. They are all part of this whole experience. And recently we celebrated the Juneteenth celebration, and also we launched the Pan-African Emancipation celebration, which of course all these personalities are going to be involved in the entire celebration. So in attracting foreign direct investment, what we are doing is to be able to package our poultry industry so well. It is about packaging. Once we are able to package it out there very well, we are able to get a lot of diaspora and storage to also invest into it. Right. So as they invest, it means that we are going to also expand. So as I'm speaking with you, we have some tourists, some foreigners, some diasporans, some investors in the diaspora who are willing to also enter into the poultry industry. One thing also I must make clear is that just as we did the year of return, beyond the return, and now Black Star experience, we are looking forward to our diasporans coming into the country and being part of most of our programs and activities. As they come, it is not only for merrymaking, it is not only for holiday, but also they are going to involve themselves within our various sectors. More especially like it is with the Ghana Poultry Day, they're going to involve with the poultry industry, where they are going to obviously put in more funds to be able to develop and then also enhance the poultry industry, so that at least we can have the needed foreign direct investment that will accrue to the country. Of course, like it is last year, for example, within the tourism industry, we were able to make close to about $3 billion and plus into the local economy. So obviously, there is more that our foreign direct investment through our diaspora and storage visitors who come in, who would like to enter into various sectors of the economy, also has some kind of goodwill to be able to push also the poultry industry.
All right. Thank you so much for that. That was very insightful. So my last question for you is, what should we expect at the Ghana Poultry Day or World Poultry Day? Ghana Poultry Day on 1st of July. What should we expect, especially in terms of the beneficiaries?
Yes. On that day, we should expect a lot of merrymaking. We should expect a lot of competitions, of course, cooking competitions, where our own Honorable Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Honorable Abla Jifa Gomaji, will be there. She will be there herself to also grace the occasion. She would actually be the overhead chef, which of course means that she's going to be one of the personalities to also undertake the cooking competition, and then also even be an advocate chef. As she becomes an advocate chef, it means that she's going to advocate for the Ghana poultry industry to also grow. As we do this, we are also expecting more Ghanaians, of course, more Ghanaians to be there and then appreciate our local poultry. There is a lot that has to do with our local poultry, so we expect more Ghanaians to be there. And then also there will be a lot of exhibitors within the tourism value chain. A lot of them will be there. As we do this, what is going to happen is that it is going to create a lot of jobs and employment. No two ways about that. And then also it's going to create what we call national cohesion. On that same day, that same venue, we are having the National Thanksgiving Day. So it is going to create what we call the national cohesion. And then also we as a country will also get the needed benefit in terms of foreign exchange. One, we are having some foreign direct investment through our tourists, our visitors, our diasporans who will come in and then also be able to invest into the poultry industry. We should expect a lot more from the Ghana Poultry Day, which of course Agri-House Foundation has tailored it towards agri-tourism. Agri-tourism is the way to go. Our agri sector has a lot to offer to the rest of the world. And it is time for us to appreciate what we have as a country. And also we say that visit Ghana. Ghana is the center of the world. As you visit, be able to involve yourself within sectors of the economy. As you involve yourself, of course, the poultry industry should not be left out. It is a way for us to promote our agri and agro tourism so that we can grow as a nation together.
Right.
Don't forget, if we domesticate our local content, it means that we are getting the needed benefit locally without exporting outside of the country, without importing things into the country. For me, as a Pan-Africanist, I believe that we as a people should be able to believe in ourselves and then domesticate what we have. Because the Ghana Poultry Day brings together a lot of people, a lot of collaborators within the poultry industry, and they have a lot to offer to Ghanaians and also the rest of the world. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you too. So we have a question here, but I think I'll throw it at you first, then my guests here would also answer. This one says, hello, good morning, and this is a very insightful conversation. My question is, what specific challenges facing the poultry industry have been addressed through the event? So over the years, this is from Mrs. Kuma in Pokwasi. So over the years, this Ghana Poultry Day, what are some of the challenges that we can expect to be addressed? Or, okay, let's limit it to this one, the upcoming one. What challenges can be addressed?
Yeah, let me say that the Ghana Poultry Day would help to address the challenge of the entire tourism agro value chain.
Right.
And what it is that, of course, we have some of the farmers who are looking forward for more processes, right? All these things, of course, the minister for Agri or the deputy minister have agreed to be there. So some of these challenges, once we have the Ministry of Agri being fully involved, we are looking forward that some of these things will also be addressed. Some have been addressed over the years, of course. We have some broilers, we have some day-old chicks who have been put out there. Some of these things, of course, if you look at the Ghana Poultry Day in itself, have helped to address some of these things because the Agri-Health Foundation, in collaboration with its partners, have been able to bring some of the tourism value chain people together and brainstorm on how to look at the way forward in addressing some of these challenges. So, my dear, if you ask exactly what it is, when it comes to broilers, when it comes to day-old chicks, when it comes to their feed, right, all these things, some of these things are being addressed. Some have been addressed, and some are being still addressed through the Ghana Poultry Day because it puts spotlight on the poultry, like we say in Koko, very important, of course. We in the tourism industry, we are looking forward to get Ghanaians, more Ghanaians to also be part of the Ghana Poultry Day and appreciate our domestic settings in terms of our local poultry, so that we can get the needed advantage out of it. Last year we had some numbers. This year we are expecting to increase the numbers. As we increase the numbers, it means that a lot more people are patronizing our local poultry.
Right.
And like it is, our panel at the studio would also add a little more from what we in the tourism industry have.
So before we let you go, in the next 5 to 10 years, what are your predictions or projections for an initiative as this?
Yeah, in the next 5 to 10 years, we're expecting that the entire value chain in the poultry industry at least would have little challenges, right? More broilers, more day-old chicks, more feed, more processors out there, and then also getting the needed market. The needed market is very important because if we are able to produce and the market is not there, then we haven't done anything. So the needed market also very important, so that once we have more poultry in the system, then we should have the needed market to also be able to purchase and then also grow the entire value chain. So this is also very important. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope to have you here in the studio very soon. Have a good day.
I'm so grateful. All
right. Yes. Thank you. The question now is time for you to answer. Yes. What are some of the challenges that we hope to have addressed at the event?
Okay, so I believe one of the key things to be financial challenges. That's why Agri-House Foundation is bringing on board a lot of financial institutions to be able to carry out this kind of mandates, because farmers complain mostly about financial issues, challenges, how to even secure a loan or something to be able to project their farming. Therefore, when they come to the location on that very day, definitely they will see these banks, they will be able to have interactions with them, be able to educate them best ways to be able to secure a loan for them. So Agri-House Foundation has taken it upon itself that we have invited a lot of financial institutions, and which in a few minutes we'll be mentioning some of our sponsors to you.
We would even have the video up so we see.
Yes, we'll be having our financial.
Advertisement.
And another thing that the Foundation is also bringing on board the feed, the production team, those who feed, they'll be able to get feed from other partners, because other companies, as we will mention the sponsors, so as you get to know the sponsor, you get to know what they are in for and what they are on board for. Another aspect is we are bringing on a lot of expertise in the farming industry to be able to mentor. That's the mentorship and education for them is one of the key things. So on that very day, there's going to be a lot of, I don't know, there's going to be a lot of education and a lot of conversation that will be revolving around best ways to develop our nation through farming.
Right. So we have, okay.
So
briefly,
I
because
want
we
to,
have another question for you.
Okay, I just want to address the question being asked by the lady.
Yeah.
Okay, so over the years, we are happy with the impact we've made through the Ghana Poetry Day Festival. We are very excited about it, but we hope for more. But just to hit the nail right on the head, over the years, the excitement about the Ghana Poetry Day is that we are able to bring together key industry players, and when they come together, we are able to build synergies. We are able to build networks, and also the excitement of the awareness to the public that this is going on. That it's time we are independent on our poetry industry. It's time we build a poetry industry. This is the excitement we've had over the years. For instance, you are an FDA staffer, or let's say you're a consumer coming, I'm a poultry seller, you come, we network, I get your contact, we keep the relationship, you're a poultry farmer, you come, I'm a day-old chick seller, we network, I pick your contact, so anytime you need chicks, you call me. So these are the excitements, and these are the little things that are going to become the big things tomorrow to grow our policy. So the synergies that will be policy makers, as I said, the Minister of Agric will be having him there, the Minister of Tourism will be there. So when they come, they build synergies and see how and work together in building the industry.
Okay,
so these are some of the things we've, I think.
Okay, so HMG is also asking, in the poultry value chain, accessibility to feed with its high cost became a national issue around 2019 to 2022. How are they tackling that aspect?
So accessibility to feed. Yes, I recall the cry of feed producers and also farmers, because the cost of feed has been an issue. And as I said, it starts from the inputs industry, how they price things and all of that. So government plays a key role, the private sector plays a key role, and one of the key things, or one of the key ways of bringing down the cost of fees is subsidies. The government taking an aspect of the cost for farmers, and also infrastructure. So the fees could be ready, but if the roads are poor, the storage and all of those infrastructure are not put in place, they will get spoiled or you can't move. So with this Koko Nkitikiti that the government is bringing on board, we are looking at addressing all of this, and we are happy and available. Agri House is happy and available to partner the government in ensuring that feed access and all aspects of the Koko Nkitikiti plays out well.
Okay.
We are very
so we have one more question from a viewer, and this one says, "Good morning, Koko Digest. Thank you to you and your guests. My question is, what are the plans for future Ghana Poultry Day events? How will they build on past successes?" This is from Ansa in Kumasi.
So one of the key or new things we are doing this year is a free day-old chicks that we are giving out to empower poultry farms, empower schools or the youth, and also give out jobs there to eligible individuals who are coming, who are passionate about poultry farming. And we are not just giving to you, but we are going to work together with our partners to trace it, because someone can just come with the excitement that, hey, I'm getting chicks, and just take it home and it's all dies. We are looking beyond that. So we are looking with the help of our partners, we'll track everyone we are giving out the chicks to make sure that you take it and you are being fruitful or productive with the chicks being given to you. Even if you end up feeding only your household, it's a win for us. And if you can go
Okay, so I wanted to ask about quality control. Then we take a look at the video for the Ghana Poultry Day. So how do you ensure quality control to the extent where our locally produced chicken or meat or everything, birds, are export worthy?
So with that one, I'll say that we are not directly in charge of that,
Okay.
but over the years we've had the participation of FDA, GSA, Ghana Standard Authority, coming to build the capacity of farmers. As I said, we are really into capacity building. So any GIPC and the likes, yeah, they come and build the capacities of the farmers in view of this, how to package your product, how to build the right environment to bring about disease-free and all of those things.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you very much. Let's take a look at the video advertising the Ghana Poultry Day quickly.
We celebrated the Poultry Day today, and the biggest push is for us to use locally made poultry. Of course, it's more expensive than the imported ones, and that is the reason why a lot of people opt to buy the imported goods. But we believe that if the agri-sector can actually put a lot more investment into reducing the cost of production in the poultry sector, it will make it easier for the farmers to keep the prices low so that people can afford to buy locally produced chickens as opposed to the imported ones. It was a very good program here. We got to cook. Every meal was centered around chicken, and I participated as a cook or as a chef over here. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work, and I came forth. Yay! It was a good opportunity for us to actually experience the locally produced spices as well as the vegetables and so on, just to show that we are able to do this on our own. And in the words of our own Agri-House project, it is possible for us to actually make the local poultry sector competitive. And that is what this show is about. And we're really appealing to the Ministry of Agriculture and to the government to actually put more support behind Agri-House and really take on the huge chunk of what needs to happen to make next year bigger and better on what we hope will be celebrated as the Ghana Poultry Day on the 1st of July.
Within the Chef Michael Kwenu, we are president of Chef Association of Ghana. It's actually a head chef of Aliza Hotel. It's a bunny local chicken. But I say, I'm a need about Mama, sir, your chicken, you have your first year, my do a Christmas, we have a sort of one number, but Savida said, Agri-House for as a song for some to decide the way in a year show association for young fun and Tibabon, upon your beyond of yin and the Portuguese Farmers Association becomes such as one. Na yellow catching na I saw from one afina young as I after Yabana Yama, yeah, healthy and life neighbors in living a wine wine.
Right, so you saw the video. I'm sure looking at all the chicken and the food there, a lot of us would be very interested in coming there to learn and to eat. Yes, thank you so much for joining us here. And I would like to take your closing remarks before we wrap up quickly. What would you like to tell Ghanaians about Ghana Poultry Day and the poultry value chain? Okay,
so thank you. As a committee member, one of the things you should be expecting on that very day is excitement. You'll be filled with a lot of goodies. And looking at the whole thing, look at the officials that are coming, the people that are participating. If you look at our Honorable John Seto Kofi Dumelo, Deputy Minister for Food and Agriculture is also coming. You look at the Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, he's also coming. Dr. Peter Buama Otukono is also representing live. Mr. Isifu Basindin, head of Northern Indigenous Small Scale and Poultry Farmers Association. That man is also coming, a very powerful man. Moses Edu, CEO of Copes Breeders Ghana. if you look at the caliber of people that are coming, shows that Agri House Foundation means business. And once you mention Agri House Foundation, you are mentioning of a great foundation that is going to make great impact in this nation. And if you look at all the activity that is going to happen, schools are representing Accra Academy, they are all representing life, Accra High Senior Technical School, Achimota Senior High School. You can see that we mean business, and that day you can't miss it. You can't miss it. Let me mention our sponsors. If you look at a few sponsors that we have, you can even tell you that yes, indeed, Agri Foundations, we have a lot to offer. Minister of Food and Agriculture, Animal Production Directorates are representing Ghana Tourism Authority, Agricultural Development Bank, First Bidders, Amas Farms, Akoto Tasty, and Boris B. Chicken. They are all represented. And just imagine having Kivo and Lakeside Farms all representing that day. And you can see that there's a lot of things that we want to offer. And I will entreat each and every one, all Ghanaians from all parts of Ghana, to be able to represent that day, because it's just going to be 1 p.m. at the forecourt of the State House.
Right.
It's going to be a wonderful day. So Interfaith Tourism World is representing life, and all my team members from other hospitals and everybody, they are all represented.
Okay.
So please
thank you very much.
Join us.
Come one, come all.
Yes.
So, Mr. Blessed Danso, yes, would you like to say anything to Ghanaians about?
Yes, so to all Ghanaians, this is our own Poetry Day festival, and you can't miss it. You shouldn't be at home on that day. You should rush to the State House, the forecourt of the State House, on the 1st of July, as Sayene said, at 1 p.m. Come with your friends, your loved ones. Come and let's enjoy our own poetry product. And we will be having free sampling. You can come and chew as much as you want. We have some of the best grillers coming around to grill this chicken for us. So do well to come. And he has mentioned most of the people coming. One of the exciting personalities also coming is the CEO of YEA. Basintali, Mr. Basintali will be there.
Hey, then this program there.
You can't and the energy, the build-up has been so exciting. The participation from all stakeholders, from poultry farmers, they are so excited to come. Households, when we look at the back end of the registration, a lot of households are coming, and we really encourage you to be there. You can't miss out. Come and let's build out.
A lot of media personalities are coming, and we are even inviting you.
Yes, we will come there. Thank you so much. Now, before we go, the National Ambulance Service is having the EMT and Paramedic Week celebration. I really wish we could display it briefly for you to see the activity lineup. So starting on Tuesday, the 1st of July, 2025 to Tuesday, the 8th of July, 2025. And I don't know do I have enough time to read everything? Okay, so yes, I'm sure we will put it up on our social media so that you can see the lineup. So some of the venues include the National Ambulance Headquarters, market and cultural stations, school visits, and even regional secretariats here at Clocksag. There will be some programs here. So yes, you just look for Clock TV on Facebook, YouTube, X, or TikTok, and you'll find this image so you can get some information on the EMT and Paramedic Week celebration. I would like to say a big thank you to everybody that joined hands to make the show a success. Thank you all my guests, and thank you all. We hope to see you bright and early on Tuesday morning. Do have an amazing weekend ahead.